is a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Today, not tomorrow.
Tell anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a Hooters.
I like that. Vomit. Whoa. Welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray with you tonight. Until 11 o'clock, a full show here on 98.5, the Sports Hub, and also on YouTube. And Skaz is here. I see intern Kevin is here tonight as well. The Red Sox, the trade deadline, your thoughts. This is the spot to do it. 617-779-0985. Are you in or out? It's simple. Don't give me a, maybe, no. Are you in or out on the deadline? Did you like what the Red Sox did? Do you think they did enough? Are you glad they did anything at all? That's where we start tonight, as they've acquired 2 pitchers today. 2 bullpen arms, and the first one is Lucas Sims coming over from the Reds, a 30-year-old. Yep, he's got a 3.57 ERA in 35 innings this year, but he's a guy that can pitch in tough situations, pitched at a tough ballpark in Cincinnati, and I don't know how much risk is behind it, but I like it. I liked it. Now, is it a wow you move? Probably not. Probably not, but a guy that's been in it, right? In it. And 110 outings since the start of 2023, Sims has a 3.27 ERA and a 190 opponent's average. And in his last 30 games, he owns a 2.25 ERA. He ranks in MLB's 95th percentile in exit velocity. I don't want to get into that. But they got a bullpen arm, and you know what they did right before the deadline? They gave up 4 prospects, which you can talk about. And again, that's something to discuss. But Luis Garcia is coming over from the Angels. You have to know who this guy is. He's played for many teams. He's been a big part of some bullpens. A back end of the bullpen guy, has a couple of saves. 37 years old, though. He's a rental. 3.17 ERA, 40 strikeouts in 43 innings. These are the moves they made. They needed to get help in their bullpen, and they got 2 arms today. They swapped one of their prospects in Nick York for Priester yesterday, a young 23-year-old arm. Pitching. This organization needs pitching. Yep, you can look at they needed a right-handed bat, and I think they did that with Jansen and getting Reese McGuire out of here. Might not wow you. It might not wow you. Here's my take on it all. The Red Sox did something to improve the team. They did something. They gave up prospects. They gave up 4 prospects for 1 guy that's 37 in their rental. So all this talk about, moving on from guys, or not moving on from guys. That's not the case under Craig Breslow. They unloaded multiple prospects, and we'll give you all these names coming up in just a little bit here. I like the move. I'm in. Your thoughts? 617-779-0985. And however you want to put it, the Red Sox are a better team today. And I'll just give you over the last couple of weeks. Now, Trey Wingenter, I believe, just got cut. He came over from the Tigers. But if you want to look at it, yep, they traded Chris Sale, John Schreiber. Okay. But they've moved on from guys. But as far as the deadline goes, James Paxton, Danny Jansen, Quinn Priester, Lucas Sims, Luis Garcia, they're a better team. And I know, I'll give you the perception coming up in a little bit here regarding the team. I'll give you that perception. But these are upgrades. You wanted the team to get better. You wanted them to compete. They're only a game and a half out of a playoff spot. They did something at the deadline, something they haven't done in years, and it didn't wow you, right? It's not the gift you wanted underneath the Christmas tree, but you know what? Christmas happened. It happened for you. Let's see how the moves work out. I don't know much about these prospects. All I know is they at least moved on from some guys that were at, top 15, top 25 in their system. I'm not sitting here to praise the Boston Red Sox and, they did great. I'm not doing that. But they got better, and isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that why we're going to watch games? And I'll give you the numbers if you want. Every year after the trade deadline, the Red Sox have tanked, and that's a fact. Today, did they give any indication of tanking and that they want to end the season or not play hard for Alex Cora or any of the things that we saw the last couple of years? No. Everyone around them certainly upgraded as well. Other teams made moves. I'm glad we're going to get competitive baseball now through the month of August and a playoff path. Let's see what these guys do, but they got 2 legitimate bullpen arms. Help is on the way. And maybe they'll spin it as Alex Cora was a part of this. I think it was a win of a trade deadline. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. My headset is not working, so I can't hear any calls if we were going to take some calls. So I'm going to change headsets now. I'm not sure why it's not working, but anyways, here we are now. I wanted to take some calls off the top tonight. That's why I started that. And hello to our friends on YouTube. Hello to you guys. I can see you. I can see that. I don't know why I can't hear anything. Let's take a break. Let's get this situated. We'll line up the phone lines. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.
right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. The deadline has come and gone in Major League Baseball. I was interested all day. I was watching all the baseball writers out there, all the chatter. Our buddy Tom Karen. I was watching everybody. The Red Sox are a better team today than they were yesterday. They're a better team over the last month, last week. They've been better. I'm throwing the Cora thing in here. I'm throwing it in there, and I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. We'll get to you at 617-779-0985. The perception after the deadline, Alex Cora is here for 3 more years. 3 more years. That's a win. I know that you people are going to say it's got nothing to do with the players. No, it's a part of it. If they didn't do anything, do you think Alex Cora resigns? No. I think he had some sort of assurance and maybe he had some say in who he wanted. So since July 6th, okay, these are the players. Trey Wingenter, he got DFA'd but might come back. James Paxton, Danny Jansen. Paxton and Jansen are upgrades over what you had. Fact. Yohan Ramirez, he's at least pitched in the league. Quinn Priester's a young arm. You swapped Nick York. I almost said Nick Folk. You swapped Nick York for Priester. A pitcher that's 23 with Major League Baseball experience over Nick York, a middle infielder that never would play. Win. And then Lucas Sims. Traded for him today. A guy that's, he's been hot. He's been hot of late. The Boston Red Sox got one of the hottest bullpen arms in baseball at the deadline. Win. But the prospects. Bleh. I don't care about the prospects anymore. They've been hoarding prospects for years. And I don't want to cross sports, but no used to hoard prospects at the trade deadline, Danny Ainge. And you know who came in? Brad Stevens. And what happened? Won a championship. Just saying. Out on the prospects. There's 3 guys that you should like. They kept them. The kid Lugo, yep. He's gone. 4 players for a rental. Fine. But you know where they were ranked? I don't care about your rankings. Felt like The Rock right there. Kevin, you know that reference? What do you think about the prospect? It doesn't matter what you think. Who cares about the prospects that you don't care about? Your thoughts on the deadline at 617-779-0985. Bobby's in the car. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, so I just wanted to touch on that Quinn Priester trade because I feel like that's what everyone's jumping on just because Nick York's like the big prospect name in that. But what people fail to realize is that there was no clear path for Nick York to the Major League roster, and he was not going to make the 40-man in the offseason, so he was going to get Rule 5. So you get a guy in Quinn Priester who's a former first-round pick who, with the reputation of Bailey, I mean, granted, it's a small sample size, but you look at a guy like Zach Kelly. Zach Kelly dominated in the minors for maybe 3 to 4 years, came up consistently in 2022 and 2023, never could find command, and then now look at him. He's got, I think, like 40 or 60 innings and it's like a 2.48 ERA. So Priester should be up probably by September, I would assume, if he meshes well in AAA.
Yeah, thank you. You're making too much sense, sir. Whatever your name was again, sir. You are making too much sense. How about John in New Hampshire? Hi, John.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good.
So, were you listening in today at about 5 o'clock for that 30 seconds when Roman Anthony got pulled out of the lineup?
I was not. I drive in, but what I saw was actually because I do my research. I saw that he hasn't played in days, so when I saw that he was pulled from the lineup, I go, how could someone be pulled from the lineup who hasn't played?
Yep. Well, Heyman tweeted out that he was scratched from the lineup last minute, and Felger and Maz played the breaking news sound, and everybody went crazy for about 30 seconds. And I got to say, it was probably the best 30 seconds of the last 4 years of my Red Sox fandom, because our highlight deadlines now are offloading a bunch of Rule 5 guys, getting 37-year-old relievers, and just playing the middle game.
Yeah. So what's wrong with the middle game? What is wrong with the middle game? What is wrong? What did you want them to do? Trade Roman Anthony for Vlad Guerrero? You think that was going to happen?
So the same way Nick York doesn't have a path to playing?
Nick York is Nick York, bro. He's a guy that got drafted too high, and he's a middle infielder that's not going to give them anything in the future. They have so many infielders. Who cares about Nick York?
Joe, we also have 7 left-handed hitting outfielders.
Why
what
are
we
you
going to do with
upset?
that?
Why do you feel like they're middling? Why? Give me. You sound like an educated Red Sox fan. So tell me why you don't like middling. You think they middled getting to the best? I'm going to look it up. I think he's the hottest arm in Major League Baseball. They got the best bullpen arm in baseball, and you're not happy about that?
Nope. I wanted a lefty starter.
But James Paxton's not a lefty starter, huh?
Oh, my God. Big Maple? Big Maple?
Yeah,
You're going to
Big
give me
Maple,
that?
yeah.
Well,
Okay. So what are they supposed to do, bro? They're not spending money, right? They're not spending money. So do you want to get on them for that? They're not spending money. Fine. Lazy argument. Lazy. They got 2 of the better arms in the middle of the season at a trade deadline when they don't give up prospects. They gave up like 9, bro. 9.
They gave up 9 Rule 5 guys.
I don't care if they're Rule 5. I don't care about any of that. You suck. I'm sorry. You know that? This is the Red Sox fan that nothing is good enough, and they're just a hater. I'd love to crap on ownership. I think Sam Kennedy sucks. All right? The Red Sox fans are pissing me off, Skaz. Oh, they're just a bunch of Rule 5 guys, middle of the... What were they supposed to do? They got handed crap. Do you know what they did with crap? They turned crap into manure and then turned the manure into cake. Or they're trying to. They were given nothing. They're nowhere near the luxury tax. They were supposed to suck all year. They're a game out of the playoffs, but you're unhappy getting 2 known commodity bullpen arms. Ooh, Rule 5 guys, New York. Bleh. You suck.
So now they're just supposed to trade their actual good prospects for anybody? Now we should just trade Roman Anthony, who's a top 15 prospect in all of baseball, just to do it because you're so upset about Heim Bloom or them hoarding prospects?
Yeah. Let's trade players just to trade players.
Not just trade. He's upset that we didn't trade for good enough players. So now you got to trade maybe your first overall prospect, depending on where you look. It's either Meyer or Anthony. So let's just trade Roman Anthony just to do it because this team's okay. They're decent. They've overperformed, like you said. So let's mortgage the future for that. No, this is kind of what you do in this situation. Your team is decent. Your team is kind of middling. They're fighting for a playoff spot. So you make moves to make the team better and not sacrifice your Marcelo Myers, your Roman Anthonys. I have no real issue with what the Sox did today. I think it was a little, hold your cards close to the vest, play it a little safe, but that's who they are. That's what they do.
Do you think giving up 4 prospects for a 37-year-old reliever is playing it safe?
I think, yeah, kind of. I mean,
they gave up one of their top guys, a 15th ranked prospect.
Nick York for a starting pitcher.
Well, no, I'm saying Lugo, though, too.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
The Nick York thing is he was a middle infielder that wasn't going to play.
Yeah. And if you're not
swapped out a guy that has Major League Baseball experience that's 23 and has team control until 2029.
First overall pick, as Tom Caron told us.
Oh, yeah, him.
But no, so...
18th. Right?
18th overall.
No, that guy, he said the best 30 seconds of his day was
a fake trade.
Felger and Maz.
Maybe take a walk outside, bud,
That's why he sucks. Sorry, Skaz, I didn't ask. Are you fine with the moves?
Yeah, I have no real Do I wish they did more? Yeah, of course, but I'm also not upset that Nick York is gone or upset that Lugo is gone. We look at these prospects, they're lottery tickets. That's what they are. The amount that never even make it to the major leagues. The one I always go back to is Anderson Espinoza, a guy that was a top pitching prospect. The Red Sox couldn't trade him. He was supposed to be a stud. They traded him for Adrian Gonzalez or some, I don't even remember. It might have been Drew Pomerantz, if I remember correctly. And Anderson Espinoza never did anything, which is what more than
I was here.
70% of those guys do.
I was here.
It was Pomerantz,
whatever
wasn't it?
year that was,
Yeah.
I was on the air at this time, whatever many years ago. I was the first to react to the Drew Pomerantz trade, and I liked it, and I was scolded for it. Anderson Espinoza, blah blah blah. I think he had like Tommy John surgery and he's out of the league, right?
Yeah, I think he had multiple Tommy John surgeries.
So like at the time they needed a left-handed starter with control. Right? And they got that. See, here's the deal. Even in 2004, nobody liked the Nomar trade. Right?
The O-Dog.
The Manny Ramirez for Jason Bay, they didn't get enough. Right? Like just that kid that called in, middling, he's just the typical lazy. I hope other people are listening to this. You know, when people think we're just saying the national media. Nope. I am now calling a caller lazy. Oh, middling guys on Nick York, what? Tell me where Nick York would have fit into the future of this team.
He's upset we traded Nick York, but wants to trade Roman Anthony?
Yeah. Oh, he was excited for trading Roman Anthony for who? Again, you're going to Vladimir Guerrero would move the needle. Junior. He would move the needle. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's the right move. It doesn't mean it. And I'm sorry for telling you suck, but you're lazy. Fernando's in Bridgewater. Hi, Fernando.
Hey, how you doing? Listen, I'm 1,000% in on what the Red Sox did in the last couple of days. I mean, they picked up a couple good relievers. They got a couple guys coming back, Casas and Grissom.
Yeah.
So be excited about the Red Sox. You know what I mean? Those prospects they gave up, they kept their core prospects, so I have no problem with it at all.
Dude, they could have tucked their tail between their legs and be like, we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
Instead,
no, definitely.
They competed with the Dodgers, right? The Orioles, these other teams. They were in on them all. Every conversation. What it came down to was they score almost 6, 7, 8 runs a game. Why did they need another bat? You need pitching.
Exactly.
You need pitching.
Yeah, most of those games they lost after the 7th inning, and I think they pretty much have covered that. And if Chris Martin comes back, watch out for the Red Sox.
Watch out. Watch out.
Sir.
Thanks, Fernando. See, Fernando's smart, intelligent, did his research, not just a fan. He said, watch out. He gave you a warning. I'm telling you right now, I'm in on the moves. A 37-year-old Garcia. Just so everyone knows, you don't know the names anymore. Just be honest, you don't know the names anymore. But Garcia's having one of the better seasons in his entire 12-year career. He's 5-1 out of the bullpen with a 3.71 ERA. In 45 appearances, right? In 43 innings, he has 40 strikeouts. He's played with the Padres, Cardinals. I remember him with the Phillies, Rangers, I think he was. He's been to the postseason 5 times. 5 times. Don't you want a guy that has experience in the postseason? Yes. He also has 4 saves. He's a setup guy to complement Martin. Alex Cora likes him. He already indicated that Sims, who they also got, who's one of the hottest pitchers in baseball, will also be in the back of the bullpen. The Red Sox needed help there. They have struggled all July. Their bullpen ERA was 6.39. They had 8 blown saves. 8. They went 3-7 since the All-Star break. Don't give me your prospects in Nick York. I don't care about Nick York, bro. I care about the bullpen with a 6-something ERA that has blown literally 7 out of 10 games. Nate is in Easton. Hi, Nate.
All right, so I wouldn't say I'm mad about this trade deadline, but it's hard to say I'm happy. I'd say this would be a much better trade deadline if the offseason they pursued someone like Teoscar Hernandez.
Doesn't matter. It's not the offseason anymore, bro. It's not the offseason. It's July 31st. You're a game out of the playoff, and you just got two of the better bullpen arms in the game.
Yeah, but if you have that right-handed bat,
who cares about that? This is where they are now. I can't do this tonight. I can't do. They should have got Teoscar Hernandez. It doesn't matter. On trade deadline day, July 31st, the team that's given up 8 blown saves and has lost 7 of their last 10 games with an ERA of 7 just got the 2 best bullpen arms available. And you're unhappy about it. I just feel like you're uneducated about this. Yes, you can have your opinion and your feelings and all that. I won't dismiss it, but you know what? I am tonight. Mac is in Boston. Hey, Mac.
What's going on, Joe? So, listen, I understand a lot of people are upset about this trade deadline for the Red Sox. I personally am sort of 50-50. I've kind of honestly stopped watching baseball since John Henry decided to turn the team into a money laundering scheme. But I digress. I was looking at the roster, like the current starting lineup for the Marlins today against the Rays. Dude, this lineup is horrendous. Like, the only player I can name is Jake Berger. So if you're a Red Sox fan, you're like, oh, man, this situation's really bad. Trust me, it can get worse because 2/3 of MLB franchises are genuinely poverty. You can't name more than 3 of their players, and they're never going to sniff another World Series.
Thank you. Yeah, bullpen arms, I get it, don't wow you. They don't. I can tell you the days, though, when it did. Remember Andrew Miller? Remember Scott Williamson? Remember Alan Embry and Mike Timlin and guys like that? They helped you win World Series. The bullpen right now. I'm going to say this one more time, loud and clear. Turn your radios up, everybody. The Red Sox are 3-7 since the All-Star break. They've blown 8 saves. 8 in the 7th inning or on. Their ERA is 6.89. They got a 37-year-old reliever that's having one of his best seasons. That's going to help at the back of your bullpen. They got one of the hottest right-handed arms in the game right now in Sims. They have improved. They're a better baseball team today. They needed help on the back end. They got the 2 best arms available on trade deadline day. And you don't like that? 617-779-0985. We'll get to the headlines here. Craig Breslow spoke. We'll play that for you coming up on the other side. And I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. We'll talk to you next.
Sports Hub headlines.
Well,
First time in this seat, able to kind of follow the ups and downs, a bit of a roller coaster. But I think that's pretty normal for this time of year. I think most fortunately we're able to accomplish what we set out to do.
Yeah, you stated kind of some of the needs that you wanted to us in Colorado. How satisfied are you with the acquisitions?
Yeah, I think anytime you can go to a deadline with a pretty clearly defined shopping list and walk out feeling like you accomplished it, I think you feel good about it. I think this team has shown that they are more than capable. We're winning. We have our sights set pretty squarely on the playoffs and deserve some reinforcements. So I think the combination of what we were able to bring in over the last couple of days and some guys getting healthy positions us really well.
That was Craig Breslow after the trade deadline here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I said it was July 31st, and I apologize. It's July 30th, but you know what? I never get the dates right anyways. The trade deadline was today at 6 o'clock. And someone goes, "Are you working for the Red Sox now?" Says Adam Mansfield. It was a terrible deadline. And I would ask you, Adam, do you know what you're talking about? I know that you can be a troll on the internet. Here's another one. Define two of the better bullpen arms. And who are you including in that too? From Poker Diddler on Twitter. So, again, if I have to, drop some knowledge on you. Mr. Garcia is having one of the better seasons in his 12-year career. He's with Anaheim this year. 5-1. 3.71 ERA, 45 appearances, 45. He has 40 strikeouts in 43 innings. He's been to the postseason 5 times playing for the Padres and Cardinals. And you know how well he did in those appearances? 1 run, 6 innings. That's pretty good, Skaz. 1 run in 6 innings in the playoffs. Pretty good. So that's one of the arms. Do you want me to give you the other two, or should I stop there, sir? The baseball people are so uneducated because you gave up on the team. You gave up. You only complain about ownership not spending money and that the guys aren't great and you can't relate to any of them. So therefore, you no longer put effort into the rest of the league. You don't. Have you been watching this month, or did you just want to complain about what they did? I'll remind you one more time. For the month of July, they have a 6.39 bullpen ERA with 8 blown leads. 7th inning or later, and they're 3-7. They're still a game back. You mean to tell me that if they win 3 out of those games, they're in a playoff spot? How could you not like that move? How could you not? I don't understand. I don't even understand the pushback. I'd love to complain. It didn't wow you. You didn't get the gift you wanted on Christmas morning, but you know what? You still had Christmas, right? You still opened your presents. You still appreciated everything you got. The Red Sox were active. Was that not good enough for you? They're competitive in the American League East playoff race, the American League playoff race for that matter. And Craig Breslow made 5 trades. 5. That's not good enough for you, though. It's not good enough. They addressed the needs they wanted to address. They even added upside in their pipeline, but you don't like it? Oh, James Paxton, Big Mabel, blah. You needed a left-handed starter, didn't you? An 8-2 record with a 4.43 ERA. 64 strikeouts, 48 walks. He sucks. He sucks. Danny Jansen. Yeah, having a down year. 6 homers, 18 RBIs, 61 games. But you know what? They got the carjacker out of here. And they got a right-handed bat. And you know what else they want to do? They want to play Connor Wong other places. They designated Reese McGuire for assignment. And Jansen will be a backup. They gave up prospects you don't care about. I don't even want to say their names. Quinn Priester was a swap. You got a first-round pick for Nick York, a guy that wasn't going to play. Lucas Sims, right now, was their most pressing need. They needed bullpen help. They gave up a guy, Portis, pretty good player. Sims is 30 years old with a 3.57 ERA, 43 appearances this year. And he's been really hot. One of the hottest players in baseball of late. Pitchers in baseball, I should add. One of the hottest pitchers in baseball. And I'll give you some more numbers on him that I thought were pretty interesting. Right? 35 innings so far. But he's been hot of late. Since May, 2.75 ERA. 2.75. And again, some of you people have no clue about these prospects. You don't go to Worcester. Come on. And you barely went to Portland. You don't know these people. Don't give me your prospects. Imagine being mad about getting two of the better arms at the deadline and improving the team. You're a better team today. Let's talk to Ryan in Andover. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, a couple of things I got to get off my chest here. First and foremost, you totally misdiagnosed that caller that you got pissed off about. His point was not that we should have held on to York. It's by the same logic. We have too many left-handed outfielders that we should have traded more.
Hey,
that was his
You don't
point.
have to speak for him, though.
Moving on to the second point. You're positioning Sims and these other scrubs as some of the best relievers available. You're conveniently leaving out the fact that most of the good relievers were gone by the time the Red Sox got off their backside. Tanner Scott, the Toronto closer. There was a half dozen other ones.
Yeah. You're not happy with what they did today. You're not happy with what they did today.
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay, then what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about, Ryan?
I'm complaining about your condescending attitude.
Yeah, my condescending attitude is people don't know these prospects. You're going to sit there and tell me you know who these guys are? For real.
I don't care about the prospects.
That's the whole point. That is the whole point. That's the point. Yes, I'm getting fired up over here. You don't care, but you want to call me condescending about it? You don't care. What could they have done to make everybody happy today? What? Skaz, tell me what they could have done, please.
Probably like traded Bobby Dahlback for Shohei Ohtani or something. I think fans would have been in on that one.
That guy wanted to knight another caller that I yelled at. Tell me about other things that I don't care about. And then when I asked him about if he liked it, he said, yeah, it's fine. But then doesn't care about prospects, but wanted to get on me about my condescending attitude. Screw!
Was that former caller his son or something? He's calling in to defend him. You were mean to my boy.
When do I defend the Red Sox, guys?
I would say rarely.
Do you know the other night I was ridiculed for giving ownership credit for Alex Cora? I gave ownership credit, and I was ridiculed for it. Because the story was Craig Breslow.
Look, I get it. If Red Sox fans are sour because of how the last few years have gone, fine. If you're sour about how the offseason went, fine. But to hold it against them today when they made baseball moves, something we've been begging them to do over the last few years, to actually acquire MLB players, guys that will help this year's roster make a playoff run. You can't win. Look, did they get the top of the market guys? No, but they got pretty close. And I think, the deal for Luis Garcia is pretty low. If you look at what like the Marlins gave up or the Orioles or what the Blue Jays got back from the Astros, like some of these were massive overpays. Like Astros fans are losing their mind at some of the prospects they gave up. So I think the Red Sox did, all things considered, pretty solid today. It's not going to blow you away, but they're a decent team that got better today, and that's something that wasn't happening in the past during trade deadlines.
Do I need to go over what the Red Sox records were at the trade deadline over the last couple of years? Do I need to do that for all you prospect people? Prospects. Oh, but they waited until the last minute to get together. All right. Tanner Scott might have been the best reliever available. They didn't get Tanner Scott, so the deadline's just over now. They should have just packed it up and gone home. Is that what they should have done? For real. Is that what they should have done? Tredavish packed it up. Nope, didn't get Tanner Scott or Vladimir Guerrero. See you later. These are the Red Sox deadline records since 2018. July 31st was the date in 2018. They went 33 and 21. In 2019, do you know what their record was after the trade deadline? 25 and 29. That is 46%. In 2020, they went 12 and 14. In 2021, they went 29 and 29. 2 years ago, 2022, they went 26 and 32 down the stretch after the trade deadline. And then last year, 22 and 34. So if you're happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons of pathetic 400 baseball, I don't know where you're from. This is Boston. The team got better at the deadline. They're in a playoff race. But you care about what again? Prospects? And you're going to argue with me that they got 2 of the better arms when I've given you the statistics? The facts? I don't need your opinion or condescending opinions. Yeah, they didn't wow you. But how can you not be happy? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? Get something for me, Skaz?
No, they're just upset because they didn't get the number one guys that were available. So it's a failure.
But should I even mention ownership or no? Because that's the lazy narrative. Ownership invested in a team that they don't care about. Ownership told Craig Breslow, yeah, give up 9 prospects. Go ahead.
This is progress. This is growth for the Red Sox organization.
Thank you. Thank you, Skaz.
We're going to have something to watch at the end of the summer. Something we've been begging for years.
Which means that next year, what?
They might actually be a real competitive baseball team.
Then they'll look at it and be like, whoa, we got something here. A manager with 3 years left, 3 big prospects that we like. Wow, look at they developed Rafael and hey, got these young kids. Maybe Andrew Bailey might be the pitching whisperer.
And they have money to spend in the offseason. If they don't spend money this offseason and you want to be upset, fine. But let's be upset when we get there.
They did not take steps back today. They took steps forward. They didn't even stand still.
No 50-50 yes here.
There is no 50-50 here. But if you want to call in and fight with me, you can go ahead. Because I'm not, you're barking up the wrong tree today.
Did you get cut off or something on your way in?
No, some guy pissed me off.
And Kevin was wondering. He's like, somebody cut Joe off or something.
No, that guy pissed me off.
I'm with you.
Kendra texting in. Kendra Middleton. Over under. I have been cackling at you in the gym. People are looking at me crazy. Yeah. I'm getting like this about the Red Sox. I haven't even talked about the Patriots yet. Or the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum situation. Or what Daryl Morey had to say. And I haven't even talked about McDonald's yet. Because we went into McDonald's land last night.
Yeah, that was a wild ride.
And then some guy is telling me they did not get 2 of the better arms. So I was just curious, who else was a better bullpen arm? You want to give me Tanner Scott? Go ahead. Boston Sports Extra DG, whoever you are on Twitter. You don't go to Worcester. You don't go to Portland or Salem or Greenville. You don't know those players. Why do you care about them? The team is better. 617-779-0985. I've been trying to play this for 2 nights, but Jerod Mayo spoke about Bill Belichick. We'll hear that on the other side here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Did Bill Belichick reach out to you after you got the gig, after it was announced?
So that's a tough question. We haven't had a lot of communication since I've been here, and honestly, for me, my focus is the players. It's all about the players, and I learned a lot from Bill. I honestly did, X's and O's, and also structure and practice and things like that. But like I said, it's a different time, it's a different era, and hopefully we can have that same success.
All right, back here, 98.5. Jerod Mayo has not heard from Bill Belichick since he took the job. Does anybody care? He hopes he could have the same success, too. Who says that about, I wish I could have the same success as Bill Belichick? You basically have almost lost control of the whole literally camp. 5 days of camp, bro. Same success as Bill Belichick. We'll get into Patriots stuff tonight. We're going to talk to the voice of the New England Patriots, Bob Socci, coming up at 8:20. So we'll get his thoughts on what's going on with Mayo and Patriots and Drake May. I just saw a poll. Who is this guy? Boston Sports Gordo. He's a good follow. What is your grade on the Red Sox trade deadline? C+, B, C, B, A-, and then that Boston Sports Extra DG guy stands for F. I wonder what DG stands for. Your thoughts on the deadline? John, you're in Foxborough. Hi, John. Hey, John. I was too hot for you, huh? I was too hot for you, wasn't I? Couldn't handle it. Did not want the smoke, bro. I can't believe some of the reactions of Red Sox fans today. Do you think the Red Sox have responded like they're happy with the way that they've started this game today, Skaz? You think they look like they got a pep in their step?
It's early, but things are looking pretty good.
Rafael Devers went deep. I was fired up, huh? Have you seen me like that?
A couple times, but not often. But yeah, we get spicy, Joe. Kevin said that might be a first for him.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin's... I don't think he's seen...
Kevin wasn't here for the Celtics playoff run. We had a couple of those during the playoffs.
Joe, you know how people are with the Red Sox. They want to complain. They want the big home run deal like the old days. My favorite Joe is Food Joe, or En Route Joe. But I do like Passionate Joe. Says Bruins Lucha. Joe, your Murray Knights got your back 100%. Murray Knights, huh?
Dear Joey.
Yeah. We pulled out the Dare Abbey last night. Reading the 64 people are watching in chat, so therefore, you guys are being entertained, and I appreciate that. Let's get a look at the headlines. Oh, there's a lot of opinions about Drake May going on right now, and we'll have a giveaway later on, too. As we're here until 11 o'clock tonight, calls are welcome. And I wanted to just... let you hear an opinion from someone who went there yesterday and watched Drake May. We'll do that for you coming up after the headlines.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Revolution play here. WBC-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Red Sox have made moves on deadline day, and people are unhappy about it. They got Lucas Sims and Luis Garcia. Sims coming over from the Reds. Garcia, 12 seasons in Major League Baseball, having his best year, 5-1. He also has had 5 playoff appearances and has given up 1 run in 6 innings. I think that was good. The Dodgers got Jack Flaherty. Padres got Tanner Scott from the Marlins. The Patriots had practice today, and everybody was there, but not Matthew Judon, though. I wonder if he gets fined $40,000. Devin Godshaw was there. He just wasn't wearing leg pads. To me, that's a hold-in. DJ Moore and the Bears just reached an agreement, 4 years, $110 million. And I just saw that Matthew Stafford has a new contract. It's effectively a 1-year, $40 million deal. What? He got $40 million for 1 year? I mean, Matt, that's what the Super Bowl does for you. Get you $40 million. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
Boston, the greatest sports town in America.
We have a farm. I have about 200 pigs here.
We get to spill beers on each other without worrying about spilling beers on people.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
I'm the last person in the world who wanted to see what I saw. I wanted to lie to myself today. Listen, I watched Drake May in college. I loved him in college. You guys know that. He was a tremendous college player. At times in North Carolina, people compared him to Justin Herbert. I said, I could see that at North Carolina. People compared him to Josh Allen. I could see that at North Carolina. Today in Foxborough, you know who I saw?
Oh, no.
The ghost of Mac Jones.
No.
I saw the ghost of Mac Jones. Not just Mac Jones, facing off against Tom Brady as a rookie. We're talking about Mac Jones in Dallas in the awful game, that awful beatdown they took at Dallas last year. He was terrible. He was terrible in every sense of the word. He couldn't get anything right. The times where I was counting in my head, like, got to get rid of it. He's holding on to the ball. When he should have been getting rid of the ball, at times he was running with the football. When he should have been completing easy passes, he was making difficult passes. He was making easy passes look difficult. At times, I thought he really struggled reading defenses.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I heard this last night. I came home, saw Michael Hawley, and he goes, man, I wish I didn't go. I told you, I went 2 days ago. I saw Drake May. He's got all the gifts. My biggest issue with him is that he lets a little bit too many footballs ride high that I think is going to affect the receivers. Balls will hit off their hands and be intercepted. I think that was number one to me, but all the things are true that going in and out of huddles, he still has a problem with that. He has a problem lining guys up. There were plenty of false starts. I think there were more today, by the way. This was the kid's first practice ever in pads. And this is another thing. The number 3 overall pick brings expectations, right? It's been 30 years. Or is it 20 years? 93. Whatever. Drew Bledsoe came and played right away. You saw the talent. They slowly progressed. They got better every year. When it comes to Drake May, he played in this college offense that really, what's he played? 22 games in his career? He missed a whole year of high school. Like, he needs a lot of work. It doesn't mean he's not the next quarterback. And he doesn't have to play this year to develop. He doesn't. But that's number one right there. At North Carolina, he could show up with his ability and sling it and run the ball when he found problems. And he did all that. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in college. So when I hear these things, I'm not surprised, and you shouldn't be either. You just have high expectations about the number 3 overall pick and changing the franchise right away, and that's just not the case. And the Patriots have been transparent and has set the expectations. I've criticized them for the way they've handled it and who they have in charge. But haven't they set the expectation that he wasn't going to play right away? I'm not going to fault the Patriots for that. Now, if he can't play in 2 years and he's the number 3 overall pick, well, you wasted it. And that will suck. But at this point right now, it's the Jacoby Brissett season. I don't know if people have fully embraced that yet. I don't think people have fully embraced that. So here we are again with fans used to success, wanting things to change quickly. I don't think you understand that they have a coach who's never coached before. You have a quarterback that's never been in a huddle before. You have linemen that have never even played some of the positions they're in. You have guys holding out who deserve more money, who are calling out ownership for having all the money and not spending it. And now what happens? You lose one of your best players because of blood clots, and now he's out indefinitely, and for his health, that's awful. But at the same time, you can't depend on that guy now. You got to worry about his future and his health. And Matthew Judon, everything he has done is calculated. Come on, I've been saying this for days. For days. That he has all the leverage, and you know who does too? Devin Godshaw. All the leverage. This is going to be a slow build, everybody. Get ready for it. Strap yourselves in. More quotes from today. Patriots rookie Drake May struggling a bit, but an improvement from yesterday. Brissett also struggled today. This is per Evan Lazar, who we had last night, Patriots.com. The Patriots just gave Drake May 11 straight reps, longest run I can recall in camp. A bumpy ride with May. He finished 2 of 7, a couple of runs and a scramble. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. It's day 6 of camp. The second day of full pads. This was the one, though, that kind of got me. And I don't know if it's clickbait. I don't know. Because I was there, so I have my own opinion on it. Tell me what you think about this one, guys. I don't know how to feel about it. This was Greg Bedard on Drake May. I think if you give the Patriots front office and coaches the truth serum, they're surprised. Okay, we got that? Let's hear it.
It was obvious to you at whatever point that the operation of the offense looked better under Mac Jones and Cam Newton. You're not seeing that with Drake May, or if you're seeing anything, it's that it just looks much better with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, it's you can't even compare, where Mac was and where Drake was. Drake May, it's not even close to that. He's more closer to where, I don't know, I guess you would say Cam Newton was at that point than where Mac Jones was.
Drake May isn't even close to Mac Jones at this point.
No. Why? I mean, I don't know why that surprises you. We all knew that. What do we know? Mac Jones was one of the most pro-ready quarterbacks coming out of the draft in his class.
Yeah,
which proved to be true.
We know.
Drake May, most people say.
We know that. See, the difference between Mac Jones and Drake May is Mac Jones can do everything but has no talent. Drake May has all the talent and can't do anything. There's nothing wrong with that. But the truth serum? Let's hear that one.
Give us some truth serum. Do you think the team was fully prepared for him to be this far behind? I mean, Mayo came out the very first day of training camp and said, hey, if he lights the world on fire, he could be the guy, sort of giving life to, he's right there. He just has to outperform Jacoby Brissett, because they thought maybe that was a possibility. The reps, I don't know what they were today, but up until today, they've been splitting first-team reps, right? Like it's a competition, and they're side by side. So to listen to you guys, they're not side by side. Do you think the team is a little surprised he's that far away?
Yes, and while he's in a different spot than Mac Jones, Mac, when he came in, it was day after day that he was making gains, and that just continued throughout the summer. Now, granted, it was a different offense. He had Josh McDaniels there. We don't know quite about the coaching, but yeah, I think if you gave those guys truth serum, they would say they're surprised he's so far behind Jacoby at this point.
I wonder if they feel that way. I am curious if they feel that way. I still would want Drake May with the number 3 overall pick. I mean, your next options were Michael Penix and Bo Nix. Is that who you wanted? Didn't we just see a guy that didn't have a ceiling? Didn't we just see Mac Jones not have a ceiling? They drafted a guy in the first round that got better every day and then stopped. He peaked too early. We should not be upset with a guy that has never run a huddle and has played 22 games in his career. I would just pump the brakes on all the truth serum stuff. I'd pump the brakes on that. I'm very happy with Drake May as the quarterback, and I'm fine with him sitting a year. I'm absolutely fine with it. The team is going to be bad. You're already seeing it at practice right now. Next week, we get our look at our first preseason game. I'll have some opinions then. I mean, I already saw that Caleb Williams isn't playing the first preseason game. But truth serum, I think the Patriots are very happy with Drake May and know they need to develop him. Their plan was to play Jacoby Brissett all along. Why do you think Zappy's still here? To back him up. They want this kid to learn as much as he can and have him ready to go. Groom him themselves. Not be forced into a situation that's bad for him and the team. So the truth serum thing, not buying it. I'm not buying it, at least. Let's talk to Tom. He's in Quincy.
Perfect timing, Joe. Listen, I completely agree with you. And just to take a step back, it wasn't the Patriots that ever said Drake May. I mean, the coach kind of leaned into it a little bit, but Jacoby Brissett's been in the league almost 10 years. No kidding, he looks different than Drake May out there. I mean, in fact, Drake May, we always knew he was going to be a project. The Felger and Maz show stirred up this whole thing.
This is not the Felger and Maz postgame show, please.
I'm just saying that the Patriots never set the wrong expectations. It's the other media shows that maybe stirred up that expectation. If anybody had the expectation that Drake May had a chance, that would just speak to how bad Jacoby Brissett would be, because he's been in the league 10 years. Of course he knows how to run on offense. That's all I got.
All right, man. Everyone wants Drake May to play right away on a bad team. That's what everybody wants. You want a guy that can't even call a huddle and line up linemen yet? Because, I don't know, it's only his second day in pads. Remember your second day at work? How'd that go? We're going to talk to the voice of the New England Patriots. His name is Bob Socci, and he's going to join us next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Zone.
Back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Here tonight until 11 o'clock. Started with the Red Sox trade deadline. It's Boston. Nobody's ever happy with what they do. And I'm starting to feel that in regards to Drake May. People are upset that they used a third-round pick on a guy who might not be ready to go. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. The voice of the New England Patriots is joining us, sponsored by Guardian Caps, Bob Socci. How is camp? How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, Joe. Perhaps I could use one of those Guardian Caps for a little extra protection these days with some of the backlash, of course, over the offensive performance thus far. But things are going well. It's just fun to be back there and fun to be looking forward to a football game a week from Thursday.
Yeah, I saw you on Sunday. I didn't have a chance to come over to you. I know the media side, everybody was up there. They were giving out Papagino, so I appreciated that. That was I got a little slice before I left, but I was down there. Things look different. I do understand that there's this is a transition year. I saw some new things, one-on-one drills, specifically with defensive backs and wide receivers. But as far as Drake May goes, and I know you tweeted about it recently and wrote an article at 985thesportsup.com, but, like, I saw some good things from May. I know he's not ready to go, but it's day 2 of full pads. Like, I think the expectations are really high for this kid, and maybe people need to pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Yeah, Joe, I totally agree. That's really where I was coming from with regards to May and the expectations and some of the comparisons. And I think the way that his performance has been described thus far, and it has been underwhelming. I mean, and I'm sure it's been disappointing too in some aspects, but there hasn't been more progress to this point. And I'll profess, I haven't been involved in the draft coverage the last couple of years the way I used to, so I don't follow college football as closely and watch the prospects or talk to people as much about them. But my understanding of Drake May was that this was somebody that had a low floor and a high ceiling, inaccurate in college, but, in a system where his second year there wasn't as much talent around him, that he, operated an offense that was not anything like what he would have to take charge of in the NFL. No staffs under center, basically, with exception of a few in the red zone. Didn't have to make play calls. Everything was signaled in from the sideline. And major adjustments when you're talking about going from the college level to the NFL at that position procedurally. Just in terms of the mechanics of taking a snap and dropping back from centers. And a lot of the comparisons that I saw, like the high end, were this kid has the potential to be, quote unquote, another Josh Allen or something like a Josh Allen. Big, athletic, make the off-platform throws, big, powerful arm, etc. Well, I remember what Josh Allen was like his first couple of years for the Bills. He was very erratic, and there were a lot of growing pains. And luckily for him and the Bills, Brian Daboll was really able to set him on the path. So I look at Drake May, and I think after a couple of days of padded practices and, a week into training camp, he's as advertised. You can see the physical traits. You see that he does have a high ceiling, but you also understand he's got a really low floor right now in comparison, for example, to his predecessor, which is why I don't like those comparisons where you say, well, where was Mac after 1 week of training camp? It's not a shot at anybody. It's just I think we're talking about a different player. Yes, third pick overall. People want to see an instant impact, but I think when they took Drake May, and the team was honest about this, they expected Jacoby Brissett to be the starter. This is a guy who has to develop. He needs more time.
Yeah, I feel like the Patriots have set the expectation. I'm not picking on any reporters. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But when I see stuff about truth serum and, do they regret the pick or any of these things, like it's 2 days in. You just mentioned Josh Allen. I see the physical tools. And I just think you can't compare anybody to Mac Jones because coming out of college, Mac Jones was in that pro offense, right? And came right in and progressed every day but hit a ceiling. I prefer the guy that, can continue to grow. I don't know how you feel about that, but I kind of like the guy that needs to be polished and groomed but has the tools. So that's just where I stand on it. I just think you can't compare the two guys coming out of college.
I would agree. And you mentioned the pro system at Alabama. He played under two future NFL coordinators, or in the case of Steve Sarkisian, a guy been in the NFL and obviously running a major college program, and Brian Daboll, of course, left Alabama and has certainly had an impact in the NFL. I mentioned Allen, and I even hate to make that comparison, and I wouldn't do it other than to say that there were people that said, in the case of Drake May, that's his ceiling. That's what he could be. Some people say Justin Herbert. And I think the thing about, when you're talking about Allen in particular, though, a player like that, there has to be an expectation. There are going to be some hiccups. There are going to be struggles to develop the proper mechanics and to really hone in with his accuracy. But again, this is all what we heard. I remember Dan Orlovsky saying this is a guy who should say. At the time, I didn't think, well, if you're going to drop to quarterback number 3, he's got to play right away. But now having seen it and understanding where they are with him, it's not Caleb Williams. It's not a pro-ready guy right away. But and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a year, 2 years. It could click for him next week. It could click for him in 2 days. But I just think there has to be a realistic set of expectations for this particular player, because each pick is unto itself. He's third overall, but this is the third best quarterback in the draft with a high ceiling, as I mentioned, low floor, and it's going to take a little time to approach that ceiling.
All right, we're talking with the voice of the New England Patriots, Bob Socci, here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Can we say the same about Jerod Mayo taking over for Bill Belichick, having the same type of hiccups so far in the offseason? Is there anything you've liked that you saw from Mayo and just some of the things he said so far at training camp?
Well, I'll start with, you mentioned some of the hiccups. Obviously you couldn't maybe you could script a more difficult way to begin, the first week of padded practices, real football, so to speak. You get the news the day before that you've lost, I think, one of their 2 or 3 top players, not just one of their better defensive players, but one of the 2 or 3 top, most physically gifted young players in Christian Barmore, which will have a big impact on them defensively. But also that kind of news, it goes beyond football. And then you have the situation which we all saw yesterday. If you weren't there in person to see it, you probably saw the clips on social media with Matthew Judon. And that situation, not only involving him, but with Devon Godchaux. You're talking about 2 major, obstacles now that this head coach has got to confront. One, dealing with the loss of Barmore, and number 2, and trying to handle this situation with these 2 veteran players unhappy about their contracts, particularly with Judon and what he did yesterday, along with Elliott Wolf. And I think that they're both intertwined. And then you add some of the other issues that have taken place, the learning curve on offense, the struggles offensively. Look, I think anybody who looked at this team in the offseason, even after the draft of the 2 young wide receivers and what they try to do in other areas of the offense, had to understand this is a multi-year deal. This is going to be a multi-year project. And the procedural issues they went through the first day of practice. So those are the things that you had to deal with on the field, along with the loss of Jabril Peppers for the last couple of days and the absence of David Andrews for the last couple of days. And then, I think there's some things in the way he's handled things and said some things I think he's learned. I think there were some things that, he probably prefers that he had not said going back to the spring, some of the comments in the off season. I've heard the burn cash remark, recycled time and again. But I will say this, I think that, there's a little bit of a mischaracterization. He does have a different approach than Bill, and he's bristling at the players' coach. It's clear that he's caught wind of this narrative that's out there that he's a players' coach. I still think that they're demanding effort from their players, and the sense that I get from hearing the veterans talk is that it's a very similar attitude, and they're trying to approach what they do with a similar work ethic as what experienced before. They're just going about it in a different way, more of a speak softly and work hard approach under Jerod. You're still seeing guys run laps when there are penalties. I mean, he yesterday made the whole offense run. They did it again today. I think that he and his coaches are frankly trying to learn each other. And, you have a big staff, and you have a first-year head coach, and you have these guys that were brought in from other organizations along with the guys who've been here. And I just think that's going to take some time. There's a learning curve there as well.
Bob, last year was difficult overall, right? You were calling games. Zoe obviously was upset at times, and I could hear it in your voice. It was tough. I was doing post-game. I didn't know what to do anymore, right? It was a hard broadcast. So, here you are now. It's everything's new. How are you approaching the new season? Are you still going to just call the game like you call it, or are you looking at it as this is somewhat of a rebuild?
Well, I think, Joe, you always want, first of all, as a broadcaster, you want the games to be exciting. You want offensive highlights, especially. We haven't had too many of those to call, not only last year, but really the last few years. I think that's part of it, too. The anxiousness. People want to see this offense improve on the results. And I do think that they will be better. I think, you can see what they're trying to do. I like a lot about what I've seen with Scott Peters and his offensive line approach and some of the others. I like the two rookie receivers. Are they blazing fast number ones? Maybe not, but I think that they could be solid players going forward for the next handful of years to come. As a broadcaster, you may not get that. And so what's your job? It's to paint the picture the best way you can, try to make it as informative and, with the help of Zoe, mostly with the help of Zoe, try to make it as entertaining and worth listening to for the audience. And, the cool thing about football, and I say this having broadcast a college season where the team went 0-10. It was 2001. One of the games got canceled because of 9/11. But Navy finished 0-10 that year and lost to a one-win Army team in the Army-Navy game. And the way you approach it, and I've done a lot of bad minor league baseball seasons too, Joe, like every game is a story unto itself. And the cool thing about football is it's once a week. There's a build-up. There's excitement. The stadium comes to life. And you're still at the pinnacle of sports in the NFL with the Patriots. You've got your job to do for, I still think, the best fans in sports here in New England. And if you don't try to go to the booth every week to live up to that standard, well, you're going to be out of a job before too long. So there's obviously that incentive, too. I like doing what I do. I want to keep doing it.
But, yeah, we also want some excitement as well.
Yeah,
and hopefully we get nothing like last year. So I'm not sure if it's been announced yet, but Scott Zolak will be doing a broadcast with the McCourty twins. You'll be having the call here starting next Thursday against the Panthers. So another season. How many seasons now for you, Bob?
Joe, this will be number 12 for me.
Ooh, just number 12, huh?
Yes, number 12, yes. Yeah. Hard to believe. It really is. It's been amazing. I remember, I think, the first time we met in the studio more than a decade ago.
Still here.
It flies by. You're doing it all. You're all over the place.
Yeah, not shining shoes no more. Definitely not doing that anymore. But I don't know. I don't know if we've announced it, but you're definitely doing the broadcast. Zoe is doing television.
Yeah, we're going to do the traditional play-by-play back on radio as opposed to the simulcast. And Zoe's going to do a very non-traditional television broadcast. The past few years I've done it with him for the preseason games. But there's been very little play-by-play. There's been mostly conversation between Zoe and the broadcast booth, Rob Ninkovich for a time on the sideline, and, of course, throughout Paul Perillo in the studio. And I think the idea from Kraft Sports Entertainment is, look, a lot of people, when they're tuning into the preseason games, what they really want to hear about are the storylines, the training camp competition, the preseason competition for jobs, et cetera. Last year, they decided, well, not only will we have Bob, Paul, and Zoe do the preseason telecast over the air on WBZ, but we're going to use the McCourty twins, a la the Mannings, to have a twins cast on social media on Patriots.com. And I think one of the twins casts might have even been aired on TV 38. Well, they just decided, and then the next step in the evolution, let's bring those guys over to the TV set. We'll just do one production, and it will be a conversation-driven production. I think Brian Hoyer, I'm not spilling any news there, or breaking any news. I think he's going to be part of the telecast as well with the McCourtys, who are terrific. I mean, these kids, I say kids, they're obviously outstanding young men, having retired from the NFL, and now they're enjoying these terrific, each a terrific network broadcasting career. They've got a lot of personality. They're very funny, but they're also very well connected to the team. Jerod, Mayo, a lot of the players still there. So I think it's going to be really informative. I'm looking forward to calling the game on radio. I hope people listen to it live on the radio, and then, like me afterwards, go back on the DVR and hear what Zoe, the McCourties, and Brian had to say on television. But I'll be honest, we haven't announced yet who my partner will be. I could say the broadcast will be in very capable hands. Maybe not mine, but certainly, my color commentating partner, along with our chief engineer, Dennis Knutson, and our ace producer, eagle-eyed Mark Capello.
Easter egg there, capable hands. I might just run off with that one. I don't know who it is, so I just heard capable hands, and maybe it's a pass catcher. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
I think he might have been a star at BC High at one time. I'm just saying. I don't know. He's pretty. He's. I'd say he's a sure-handed insider when it comes to NFL knowledge.
Love that. He's Bob Socci, one of the best in the business, the voice of the New England Patriots. Bob, best of luck. Year number 12, a significant number, of course, among the New England Patriots. Congratulations to you, and I will talk to you next Thursday night after the first preseason game. Appreciate taking a few minutes tonight.
Hey, looking forward to it, Joe. Thank you very much.
Hey, he's Bob Socci, the voice of the New England Patriots, one of the best in the business. And, of course, you got to watch next week. Listen here on 98.5 The Sports. I've been a sure-handed man on the broadcast. Thanks, Bob Socci. Of course, that was brought to you by Guardian Caps. We have a giveaway, Skaz, don't we? I need to get that giveaway as caller number 10 right now to our contest line. Let me just pull it up here because I didn't have it ready to go. But who wants to go to Springfield? That's a fun place to go. Caller number 10 right now to the contest line at 617-931-0985 will score a 4-pack of passes to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame's newest exhibit, The Vault, featuring the legendary 18-time champion Boston Celtics. Experience the dynasty for yourself at the Hall of Fame. Learn more at hoophall.com. Caller number 10. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. Let's get the headlines. I'll tell you what's going on with the Boston Red Sox.
Sports Hub headlines.
When the interview started, it was 3-1 Red Sox. It's now 7-3 Seattle. That's not good. Let's
the reigning, defending NBA champion, Jason Tatum. And you can't find minutes in a 26-point lopsided victory. You can't find 1 minute. I'm trying to get away from cussing because, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'm a decent human being that loves the Lord, and my pastor's watching me sometimes, and I know he gets mad at me when I cuss. But Steve Kerr, that's some straight bullshit. You gotta be kidding me. All these people getting on my damn nerves. And to have him go through an entire NBA season and then go through the playoffs and capture a championship and still take time in his offseason to join Team USA and to have a champion riding the bench like he's some damn water boy. You got to be kidding me. Really hard in a 40-minute game to play more than 10 guys. It's Team USA. 0. The reigning, defending.
Back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. Skaz goes, you want Stephen A? And I said, always. Always. So, Jason Tatum didn't play the other night. We all know that. I think that something happened. I think he's held out, not because of basketball reasons, but because of Jaylen Brown. Maybe Jason Tatum finally said something regarding Jaylen Brown, and they didn't like it. But if you go to 985thesportsup.com's Twitter page, because I don't know if it's on our website, but we did post it there. Why was Jason Tatum benched for Team USA? Written by one James Scaramazzino named Skaz. Skaz, you may have mentioned a few other things besides, my narrative, my take. Is there a reason why Steve Kerr might not like Tatum or the Celtics or anything like that?
Yeah, so I basically just took all the conspiracy theories that are floating around. I know Grant Hill doesn't like that term. I don't know if Steve Kerr's a fan of it either. But yeah, so I basically just facilitated almost, a word I think the 2 to 6 show might use. But yes, so why was Jason Tatum benched? Still no idea, really. There hasn't been any basketball reasons given. So could it be because of the Nike thing, the Jaylen Brown thing? I think that's possible. Could it be because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown embarrassed the Warriors a couple times this year?
Oh, remember that Sunday game?
I've seen that floated around.
Where they didn't cover Jaylen Brown?
Draymond Green was bragging afterwards that their game plan was to leave Jaylen Brown open. So I don't think it's that. I think that's a little petty, even, for Steve Kerr. I think that's a little vindictive, and I don't think that's it. But for me, it's more that we don't have a reason. That's what bothers me, is that Jason Tatum is the only American that was an All-NBA player this year. He's a champion. He's a gold medal winner. And you can't find a single minute for the guy. That's why it's a story. Not because Tyrese Halliburton didn't get any minutes either. Tyrese Halliburton is not Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a guy who's played as many minutes, if not more, than anybody in the league the last few seasons. He has every accolade. He has a title. He also has a gold medal in which he was the second best player on the team.
Just remind everybody
in the Olympics.
Already has a gold medal.
Already has one. Him and Kevin Durant. I don't want to say they carried that team, but him and Kevin Durant were far and away the two best players on the team that year. So, yeah, it's just I think it's just a bad look for Steve Kerr. It's a bad look for Grant Hill. You can't give us it was a matchups thing. Your Team USA. You don't do matchups. You shouldn't care about the matchups. You make other teams match up against you. I saw someone else tweet that out. It's true. You're Team USA. You're the best basketball team in the world. You're the best basketball team ever assembled every time you assemble a Team USA roster. So the whole thing that he didn't fit, we had to get Kevin Durant minutes. We had to play Devin Booker 27 minutes at small forward. It's laughable. It's just excuse making. And Joe, we don't like excuse making. Then you see some people saying, "Oh, you should just care that Team USA won." Sure, I guess, yeah, good Team USA won, but that's not the story. They're supposed to win. They always win. I'm more interested in why they're not playing one of the 5 best players in the world, why they're not playing one of the top 5 best players on Team USA, maybe the best player on Team USA right now. Certainly top 3. I don't know how you could argue that, but we got to get a guy who's earned nothing in Joel Embiid and a guy who's earned nothing in Devin Booker their minutes. So the rationale, the reasoning, that's my problem with it, is that Steve Kerr just has no answers. There is no answer because it's not a basketball reason. There is no basketball reason that Jason Tatum did not play a single minute.
So you think if you're a Celtics fan, this summer could be a really great thing for the team?
Yeah, I think if you want to look at, if you're trying to take some positives away, you have a team that's coming off a championship. Sometimes there's a letdown. I mean, we saw the Nuggets who lost pieces in the offseason. The Celtics were able to retain every single one of their players, and Jason Tatum has the motivation of not winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, not winning Finals MVP. If you're one of those people that think that's, a notch in Tatum's belt that he would like to have, I'm sure he would. But so there's extra motivation there, and Jaylen Brown has the motivation of being slighted by Team USA, and now Jason Tatum has the motivation of being slighted by Team USA during the Olympics. When say what you want about Jason Tatum, you can't deny that he's one of the better players on Team USA, and he's a guy who, and I'm not going to call it a sacrifice. He didn't sacrifice his summer. It's an honor to play for your country. It's an honor to go for the Olympics. But to not play a guy, to DNP a champion who's a 3-time All-NBA player, to have him sit on your bench in Paris when he could be on a beach anywhere in the world, I think that's disrespectful.
Where is he going to start next game?
So from the pictures we saw of practice today, there are 5 guys wearing blue jerseys. I go to the one and only Stool Greenie for this, Dan Greenberg, friend of the show. And if you're one of those people that looks into these things, there are 5 guys wearing the blue starter jersey, and Jason Tatum is one of those guys.
Oh.
So it looks like Jason
Tatum.
Tatum.
Start.
Maybe a pity start, if that's what you want to call it, Joe. So I'll be interested if Steve Kerr, we'll see if a man of his word who said if Jason Tatum plays, someone else will sit. So do we think that we see someone else not play a single minute tomorrow? Maybe, but I just think that's a very weird way to coach Team USA. All these guys can play. All these guys should play. Enough about the matchups.
Basketball reasons.
Yeah, basketball reasons. We got to get Devin Booker out there and Embiid out there to flop around for 40 minutes.
Do you want to know what I feel? I've used the word calculated a couple of times today. Matthew Judon, very calculated. Do you know what else I saw today? Coach K doing national media. And they asked him about, who is better. Like, you got to play against Kobe. Or, you coached Kobe and Grant Hill. And then they asked him about Team USA basketball, and he just took the high road and, puff piece. Puff piece. Calculated.
Why is it Steve Kerr? Why isn't it Eric Spoelstra or Popovich or one of these guys?
Huh.
Does anyone say Steve Kerr is the best coach in the NBA? Has anyone ever said that?
Everybody thinks that he's lucky.
Even when they were winning titles, I don't think anyone ever called him the best coach in the league.
He even missed time and Luke Walton won games. Do I think he sucks as a coach? No. Do I think he was a part of them winning the championship against the Celtics? Maybe Wiggins moving to the 4? I don't know. Maybe? Am I crediting Steve Kerr for that? No. 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 No, no, no. See, Kevin, he's looking around like, why is Joe doing that? It's like me yelling at a dog. No. It's all calculated. And what? I bet you Tatum has a bad game. You watch.
Honestly, for the takes, Joe, if they win and he has a bad game, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Because I hope he's going to be like, screw this. And then there's like just this like running it back hate tour. Everyone in the league hates the Celtics. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's fine with me.
Daryl Morey spoke too. We'll do that later. That guy. Hey, you know what we have next? In or out next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The
I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
On the Arch Burger, but I'm happy they're making it.
All right, Joe, we'll head to the NFL for this one. New onside kick rules were announced.
You know, like, I mean, who? Yeah. I mean, Britney Spears and Ozzy got into it recently.
I did see Ozzy apologized.
He doesn't know how to apologize. Hey, you know, just stop your stupid videos.
I believe it was the whole family that issued an apology. The Osbournes. What a TV show.
Great. That was the first reality. This is a taste bud. Because you read my tweet 5 minutes after I answered you. But you say so, the regular burger at McDonald's is a regular burger. The people want to know is difference between Big Mac and quarter pound. Didn't I do that? What is your problem, sir?
He's upset that Grimace is a taste bud? That was breaking news last night.
Another guy says, I don't care about York, but two of the better bullpen arms available? Seriously? I don't know. Am I lying? Do you watch? Tonight's a good one, huh? Tonight's a...
Everyone's a little on edge tonight. Tuesday, I like it.
Tuesdays with Murray.
Maury. Tuesdays with Murray.
Thank you. What were we doing there? I was onside kicker. We already passed that.
Yeah, Britney Spears.
Oh, Britney. Who cares? Out.
All right, Joe. Move.
Anytime
over.
we can talk about Britney, though, I'm in.
Yeah, she almost moved to Boston. We're almost neighbors.
That's right.
All right, Joe. Tyson Foods today launched Razorback Nuggets, hot off the heels of John Tyson pulling John Calipari to Arkansas. They're available now in select Walmart stores in Northwest Arkansas and Missouri. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Razorback nuggets?
In. Listen, Dino Nuggets, Joey Nuggets, whatever you want to do.
Gonna get like BC Eagle Nuggets or some Yukon Husky Nuggets.
Yeah, I'd like that. The Husky on a nugget would be great. Going for a three-peat. They come in 3 nuggets in one, you know? Yeah, you want Skaz Nuggets?
That's okay.
Just a guy with headphones on? As a nugget?
Right.
In. Who wouldn't be in? In. But I like the idea because obviously the money from Arkansas for Calipari came from Tyson Nuggets.
Yeah, John Tyson.
So it's like, yeah, what else do you guys want to do? The Razorback, what else? You want to get Bill Clinton ones too? Nope, no politics. He's just from there.
John Daly.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Another one. That'd be cool. Who else is a famous Arkansas person? Corliss Williamson. Won a national championship. If you remember Forrest Gump, when they meet Lieutenant Dan, he goes, so you guys are from Arkansas.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Ooh, there we go. Bad Santas.
The Bear.
Mildred. Pa.
Mary Steenburgen is from Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Arkansonians.
Scottie Pippen. A Pippen Nugget.
You should hit these people on Twitter tonight. Oh, baby, it's good. I love Arkansas. In.
All right, Joe. We'll end with kind of an off the board one, but the Olympics are going on. A lot of funny takes around the Olympics, tweets, stuff like that. I was watching some of the equestrian earlier. I think it was yesterday. It was on the TV. Scrolling through Twitter, find out the horses in the Olympics do not receive medals. Joe Murray, do the horses deserve medals? In or out on the horses not receiving medals at the Olympics?
Who wins, the horse or the trainer?
Well, if the trainer's getting the medal, don't they win?
Would the owner get it? Like, is Bob Baffert getting gold medals? That guy's a cheater.
I think the horse might deserve a medal, Joe.
You know what? Give them all a medal. The owner, the jockey, the horse should get one of those gold face things for their
like a muzzle almost?
Yeah, one of those gold ones, or a golden saddle. What do you think of that? Or a bronze saddle or a silver saddle? In horses deserve medals. What about if they made their hoofs that color? They got like golden hoofs,
like grills almost, but for the horse feet. I like that.
Yeah.
Bedazzled hooves.
When you want to give them grills in their teeth, I'm down with that too.
Down.
Horses deserve more, everybody. One more for good name. Got anything else? That's it?
Joe, you put this in Slack, and I don't know what prompted it. I think you might have had it in yesterday, and we didn't get to it, but in-game interviews. Something you feel strongly about.
Okay. The NFL is forced now coaches are forced to do in-game interviews. It's going to get wild. We're going to be using some, I think. I don't want to talk to you during the middle of... Think about it. When you're a coach, right, you still have that, like, competitor game face. So imagine, like, here you are, we're going to start a drive with a play-action fake deep right, big play down the sideline, and you connect. Now you're the coach. You got to start play. What's next? What's the... You don't want to talk to Sally Field on the sideline. You know what I mean? Couldn't hear you.
She was an astronaut, but yeah.
Sally Field?
Yeah.
She's Forrest Gump's mom.
She was an astronaut, wasn't she?
She was in Mrs. Doubtfire. You Virginia Doubtfire, dear. Yeah, it was Mrs. Doubt. Well, Mrs. Doubtfire obviously was the husband, but Sally Fields was.
She's an 80 for Brady.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, and she did a lot for her son Forrest.
She cared about his education. I'll say that.
He's on vacation. don't know why I said Sally Field on the sideline. I just feel like it's going to go awry. That's all. And I'm out. Some guys is dying laughing at the Olympic winning horses deserve better. They do. The Olympic winning horses deserve better. Another one where we don't care, right?
No, I care about Simone Biles.
Oh, that's right. Remember the old crew, Dominique Mosianu and Kerry Strug? I don't know if you remember, that was a big deal back then. I don't know if you were old. I was a kid.
The first Olympic gymnast I remember is Paul Hamm.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Hamm. That was probably like 12 or something, maybe.
When I was a kid, we had Dan and Dave. I forget what their last names were. But it was like Dan and Dave were going to be the two best Olympians ever. They had Nike commercials on the yin yang. And I'm like, who the hell are these guys? They were everywhere. And I think they failed. Might have to do a 30 for 30 on that. 2011 Warhorse. Horse is unaware of medals. I don't know if I believe that. Someone didn't like our bear joke.
Won't be the last.
Saying I ripped it. I don't know how.
Oh, yeah, that never happens.
Well, no, but I mean, I was just there for that.
Yeah.
I was literally a part of the bit.
You're only sitting.
I was just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
Literally sitting there. But yet, not my bit. Sorry.
To live a life where that's the stuff you get upset about.
People today, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on?
Full moon out there, maybe?
What is happening? Kevin, this is the summer, dude. You should see it when it's like full barrel Patriot season. People go nuts on a Monday.
Someone has said Dan and Dave sucked.
Dan and Dave sucked. Can't do that, Joe. I'm not going to read I'm going to the headlines here. Oh, we got Ben Fawkes coming up. We'll talk to him. We'll take a quick break. No, we'll get to the headlines. We'll do a quick, and then we'll go to break. Coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, relatable, reliable, and even relentless at times.
We're doing it live.
This is Boston's home for sports. WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, the Red Sox are losing 10-3, but they made two big moves today. Lucas Sims and Luis Garcia giving up 4 prospects to Anaheim. Dodgers get Jack Flaherty. Padres get Tanner Scott from the Marlins. Patriots had another day at camp. No Matthew Judon, though. Some other NFL news. DJ Moore got a 4-year, $110 million extension with the Bears. $82 million is guaranteed. And Matt Stafford got a new contract, effectively a 1-year, $40 million deal. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. With Awaken 180, how many birdies can you uncover? Awaken180.com. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I saw this great stat by our next guest coming up. Talked about wins above replacement. You ever heard that in baseball? Well, they have it for quarterbacks. You'll be surprised. I actually don't know what Jacoby Brissett says. So we're going to talk to sports betting analyst Ben Fawkes with a W. We'll talk to him coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Choice is a good thing. Like what movie to stream tonight?
Want to watch a comedy?
Superheroes! Mystery! And now, with My Home from Verizon, you can finally choose what's in your internet plan and save big on the entertainment you love, like Netflix and Max for just $10 a month. Call 1-800-VERIZON and switch today. Netflix and Max with ads perk requires an eligible Verizon Home Internet VHI plan. Must be 18 years or older.
Up, I'm Joe Murray. What a weird night. I don't know what happened. Was it me? Like, did the callers get upset about me in my opinions on the Red Sox? Because I don't like any of yours. And then I talk about the Patriots, and everyone's like, yeah, who cares? Well, why don't we talk betting then, huh? If nobody cares about the actual team, why don't we just talk about bets, because you're going to bet on the games anyways. And let's go to a betting expert right now. His name is Ben Fawkes, and he joins us here on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Ben, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Haven't talked in a while here, but we're getting ready, right? I saw one today. I do a segment called Joe Me the Money, where I see a crazy bet, and then instead of, taking the bet, they could just give Joe the money. But I saw one today, a bettor today at BetMGM wagered $250,000 on the Chiefs to win the AFC West at minus 250. Now, I think that's a square bet, but I also think it's a bad bet. I mean, is it a lock that the Chiefs win the AFC West? Do they have to win the AFC West to make the playoffs, in your opinion?
I don't think they have to win the AFC West to make the playoffs, but I think right now, if there's one quarterback, maybe even a player in sports who has the benefit of the doubt, it's Patrick Mahomes. And with that division, I think you just see the Broncos aren't winning it. The Raiders, I don't think, are winning it. So it's really the Chiefs and the Chargers just lost all their offensive weapons and have Jim Harbaugh, who's had a ton of success in college and a longer time ago in the NFL, but a very big unknown. And so I think, if you have that big of a bankroll, most likely, worst case scenario, you're going to have a way to hedge that later in the season if it's close or the Chargers are up a little bit. So, I think it's almost like a CD or something at a bank. People are just kind of, hey, we're going to put that in, and in 3 months we'll go and collect our cash, because the Chiefs have pretty much been a lock, certainly to make the playoffs and to win that division as well under Mahomes.
Well, speaking of collecting some cash, I know you got yourself a Substack now. So why don't you tell our listeners how they can get that information before the season starts?
Yeah, it's just my name, basically. So B as in boy, Fawkes, FAWKES 22.substack.com. Just basically like a paid blog. Some of the articles are free as well, and just trying to kind of help bettors with some of the things I've learned, and then mostly just reaching out to people in my network who are far smarter than me to break down games and kind of go over tips and tricks about betting.
All right. I wanted to get that out of the way. I want my listeners to talk to you because you came up with a nugget. That's why I reached out. You basically came up with, I like to call it a war. How much a quarterback's, I guess each quarterback and how many wins they're worth. You also did a starting QBs against the spread value versus the backup. How did the Patriots rank on that list?
So Jacoby Brissett, and it's always interesting, I'd say, with rookies too, right? I think rookie quarterbacks are the hardest for odds makers to figure out, because obviously you've seen what they can do in college, and some have a long, time span. They've had a lot of different starts, and then some, Mark Sanchez had 13 starts. So it's always tough to tell how they're going to do and perform when they come to the NFL. The Patriots were 25th in this. And so Jacoby Brissett was worth basically 1.5 points, in exact terms, 1.6 points, more than Drake May against the spread. And so just to clarify with that doesn't mean basically they're the 25th best quarterback in the rankings or anything like that. It's the relative Jacoby Brissett over Drake May. If it was Jacoby Brissett versus, let's say, Justin Fields as the backup, it might be even less or potentially negative if people thought Fields should start over Brissett.
Got it. Understand that. Now, you also did, I saw the top 5 NFL QBs ranked by point spread value, and you asked a bunch of odds makers this question. I wasn't surprised that Patrick Mahomes was worth 7.51 and that Josh Allen, of all things, is 6.80. I was a little surprised at Lamar Jackson because they've won without him before. Herbert and Love, what were your thoughts talking to some odds makers? How do they kind of come up with these numbers? And I'm just curious if the Patriots had any numbers.
So, I did this last year as well, and Josh Allen was tied for second with Joe Burrow at 6.75 points above replacement, essentially, against the spread. And this year he was 6.8. So roughly the same. Josh Allen, I think, is just seen as, almost no matter who's the backup, he's probably going to be the number 2 or 3, let's say, quarterback in the NFL. And so much of that offense kind of relies on him, both obviously throwing the ball and with him running, that it's just really difficult basically to replace him. And almost anyone is kind of going to be worse. And that's one of the things with these rankings as well that odds makers take into account is kind of how unique is the quarterback to the offense, right? If it's the Seattle Seahawks with the Legion of Boom or Ben Roethlisberger in his early Pittsburgh Steelers years with a strong defense, the quarterback doesn't mean as much. And so relative to the backup, it's probably not going to be as big a drop in the point spread. I think for Lamar Jackson, part of it as well is that I believe his backup is now Josh Johnson. And so I think that's also factored in. If it was Tyler Huntley, I think it would be a little bit lower. And last year, Lamar was sixth with only about 5 points. So he's about 1.5 points more this year than he was last year against the spread. I think most of that probably has to do with the backup as opposed to actually Lamar.
All right, betting analyst Ben Fawkes joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston. Just curious, have you seen anything yet on the trade deadline in baseball today? Has anyone's odds moved? Have you talked to anybody? And, do you think there was a move that maybe could have shifted the betting lines today?
No, I mean, I think there's certain events, the Olympics is generally one of them, that aren't as big kind of betting events, even though they're kind of sports talk radio and sports events. And I think that the MLB trade line tends to be that way, right? Like if it's Randy Johnson back in the day getting traded, or CC Sabathia or something like that, that's really going to have a big impact on a team's odds. But in general, I don't think too much really changed. Haven't spoken to odds makers tonight about that, but I don't think there are any kind of massive players that are going to shift the futures odds on a game-to-game basis. Maybe a couple cents here or there for a team, but I don't think there are any massive players that would have switched. I think the White Sox starter, Crochet, I think he probably would have, if he went to, depending on the team he went to, that would have been one that would probably shift things a little bit.
Well, hopefully people didn't bet on them every game on the money line. That wouldn't have been good this year. I saw the numbers. If you bet 100 on every game, you'd be down over $4,000. Woof. That's a wild number right there. I got a couple of college bets I wanted to ask you. Everyone talks about Colorado and Deion Sanders and, potentially the number one overall pick. So last year they were one of the highest bet teams on the over. How are they looking this year as far as their over-under and people betting over-under on it?
Yeah, they're a fascinating team. I feel like there are public teams, right? Teams that the public tends to bet on and gravitate towards, like the Yankees, Red Sox, et cetera. And then Colorado is almost in a different category. Everyone has an opinion on them, I guess. And I think last year, especially after they came out and won that first game as whatever they were, 20.5 point underdog, and obviously had kind of expectations going to the season, no one really knew what they were, right? They had so many new players, basically a new team and a new coach, and they kind of have that this year as well. So I believe their over-under is 5.5, and at BetMGM, they were the most bet. That was the most bet win total. They had both the most over bets and the most under bets. So basically, a ton of the public had an opinion, and they were both betting the over and the under. I think majority of the bets still on the over. I think is about 65%, with about 75% of the money on the over. But they're just a fascinating team. They're going to be bet to win the national championship at 100 to 1, 150 to 1, 200 to 1. I don't think the number is going to necessarily matter for bettors, just because they kind of draw that attention. And I think it's a little bit like the Chicago Cubs, Boston Red Sox many years ago before they won World Series, that it's almost like a souvenir if you kind of have that ticket as well, especially a longer shot like them to win the championship.
And we played the Deshaun Foster press conference the other night. Looks like the over-under total is really dipped after that thing. What's the number now?
Yeah, they had moved. I got to ask some odds makers about this. They were 6.5, and now they're down to 4.5. I don't think I've ever seen probably a win total move off of a press conference. But certainly if there was a head coach that did not inspire a lot of confidence, you think about kind of like watching the New York Giants Hard Knocks or something else, right? Seeing Brian Daboll recite all these plays, and clearly he knows what he's talking about. And then you kind of see that press conference and you go, how is this guy going to get to a press conference, let alone a game? So it definitely didn't inspire confidence. And yeah, that was the most the biggest move among all college football win totals at BetMGM was UCLA going from 6.5 to 4.5.
A lot of love for the Detroit Lions. Is there a team you're looking at in the NFL this year where you're like, I see some value there, even though they might not be one of the odds-on favorites at the moment?
So a team I know some people smarter than me like is the Eagles. And I think that it's hard to think about them, right? Because last year they were maybe the most controversial 10-1 team we've ever had, where people are questioning, like, are they actually a good team? And all they're doing was winning games. Obviously fell apart down the stretch and kind of lost in humiliating fashion in the playoffs. But for the most part, outside of Jason Kelsey, a lot of the team is back. Obviously added Saquon Barkley, added some corners and some secondary help in the draft. Potentially as well with new coaches, Nick Sirianni probably coaching for his job. I think they're almost being forgot about a little bit because of how, the Cowboys take up so much oxygen in the room. And the Packers are kind of the it team of the offseason, or one of them in the NFC. So I think the Eagles to either win the NFC, certainly to win NFC East if you want to take them to make the playoffs. I think that they're going to be there in the end. I see them as probably, depending on the draw, going against the 49ers or probably Packers or Lions in the NFC Championship game. So I think them to go far, or a Super Bowl exacta potentially with them in it, is definitely a way to go.
All right, he's Ben Fawkes, everybody. You got to get in on his summer free trials that you're offering right now in your subscriptions. You just go to B Fawkes with a W, 22 at the Substack. Ben, I love that. I love that quarterbacks per win. I think that is a great statistic, and certainly I'm going to keep my eyes on that one. That'd be a nice little mid-season article for you. Kind of keep track of it and how it finishes. I think that's something. Something really worth watching, man, and appreciate all the work you do. And by the way, looks like people in Massachusetts really love sports betting, huh? Yeah. Look, they're interesting, and I think that gaming commission will be interesting too. See what they do. I know. Our buddy Bill Spiros, he's a local guy here, and he's from bookies. He's been all over it when it comes to some of the biggest VIGs going on. By state, New York, of course, the biggest, New Jersey, and then Massachusetts. 3. Ben, appreciate you taking a few minutes, man. And sign up for his Substack as well. He's Ben Fawkes. Ben, appreciate your time tonight, man. Good luck.
Anytime. Thanks so much.
You got it. He's Ben Fawkes, everybody. Go sign up on his Substack. Some really good information there if you're trying to, get the edge you need. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll get to the headlines here. I'll wait for the Red Sox game to be over to give my reactions again to the trade deadline. But, Skaz, we might as well play Daryl Morey. He had to say something, so we might as well just nitpick him before we get the musings. Let's get to the Sports Hub headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Obviously, you got to give the Celtics their credit. They won the title. They're an excellent team. They brought everybody back. They're the target, but we don't feel like we give up anything to them, and we're going to be coming to take the title away from them.
Daryl Morey, 76ers president, GM, whatever he is. The 76ers are aiming to dethrone their division rival, the Boston Celtics, after acquiring Paul George, Caleb Martin, Eric Gordon, Reggie Jackson, and Andre Drummond. They also re-signed Kelly Oubre and Kyle Lowry. They drafted Jared McCain. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we use a lot of data. I'm sure people love hearing that. We love using data, let me tell you. Well, have they looked at the data of Joel Embiid in the Olympics at all? Have you seen his data? On the court, they're a -8. And when he's off the court, they're a +38. I don't know, Skaz. To me, that data is anti-Joel Embiid. So I don't know if Paul George and Caleb Martin and Eric Gordon, Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond are the answer to compete with the Boston Celtics. The 76ers have tried before to do that. But they're the target. They're the target. We're going to be coming to take the title away from the Celtics. And I can't remember. What rank are you? The third, the fourth, the fifth? What? What? You wanted to dethrone them, but you called yourself the fourth best? I can't remember what you said there. We're coming after him. We're coming to dethrone him. You got to give the Celtics credit, though. They won the title. They're an excellent team. They brought everybody back. They're the target. We don't feel like we give up anything to them. Oh, really? And we're going to be coming to take the title away from them.
Hey, Daryl, why don't you worry about getting Joel Embiid to a conference finals first? Then we can talk, all right?
That's a good point. Getting to the conference final would be huge.
Might throw a parade in Philly if that happens.
Did you know that since drafting Jason Tatum, Boston's 3-0 against the 76ers in the playoffs? Did you know that?
You know what, Joe? I did know that.
Did you know that they traded? They traded the pick that became Jason Tatum. I'm not sure. Was Daryl Morey a part of that? I can't remember.
Wonder if he wants that one back.
Can't remember. In their most recent postseason clash, Tatum set a Game 7 record, 51 points, which stood in the way of the Sixers advancing to the conference finals that you speak of, Skaz. And around their yet to reach since selecting Joel Embiid in 2014. That would be 10 years, right? 10 years. Ooh, Paul George. Ooh, Andre Drummond. Ooh, Reggie Jackson. How many teams has he played on?
BC legend.
I know. How many teams, though? For real. I'm going to say over under 7.5 over. I think he's played for 8 teams. I'm actually curious if you can look that up for me.
Joe, he has played for 5 teams. Can you name them?
Oklahoma City.
Drafted by OKC.
Denver. Memphis?
No Memphis.
Some obscure team, I know.
The Detroit Pistons.
They suck.
The Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, yeah, he was on the Clippers.
And Daryl Morey's 76ers.
All right.
He does feel like a guy that's bounced around more, though.
Yeah. He's actually not a bad player. But I can't wait for Embiid and Drummond to be on the court at the same time. Oh, do you think...
What would we call that, Joe?
Do you think Joe Mazzulla won't play Jason Tatum because of the matchups in that one?
Wonder if that's called barbecue chicken when those two guys are out there at the same time.
Do you think that the coach of the 76ers will be pissed when they foul Andre Drummond in like the third quarter. Hack of Drummond.
Might be getting that in the second quarter.
The only thing I'll give, though, about the 76ers, I know, there's a lot. The Red Sox just at the trade deadline. The Patriots are stinking at camp. Drake May is a disappointment. All that. I still want to talk about the Celtics because they won a championship. But the one thing that I do like about the 76ers is Nick Nurse. People overrate coaches, right? Was he overrated? Because he is a good defensive coach. Do you think these guys are playing defense?
No.
Paul George was never been an absolute poor defender. But you think at his age now, he's coming to Philly to defend? No. So I do like Nick Nurse, though. And at times last year, I thought Maxey really elevated this game.
I like Maxey a lot. I think McCain's a decent player as well, but I don't think it's enough. You're going to tell me Joel Embiid's going to stay, Paul George is going to stay healthy next year?
So I just want to make sure that our rankings are the same because we've given the who in the offseason has competed. I still have the Pacers, too.
I would have the Pacers in front of them. I would have the Knicks in front of them.
New York in front
I would probably have the Bucks in front of them still, too.
I am waiting on the Bucks because I still feel like something's brewing.
The Lopez thing?
Something's brewing. Maybe some stud will stand out at the Olympics. I heard IT might be going there. Yeah, heard that.
Woo.
They're the target. We're coming after them. Daryl Morey.
Kevin's favorite Celtic ever, Isaiah Thomas.
He was a great Celtic. IT was a great Celtic.
He was, absolutely.
Again, Reggie Lewis was my favorite Celtic. And I think this is the anniversary of his death. Or around this time. I don't know why. I feel it in my bones. I feel like it was July 20th-ish?
27th.
Wow. See, how could I forget that, though? That was like your first athlete that you loved passed away. That's what it was for me. I loved Reggie Lewis. Man. Oh. We got something here? Or you got something? Hello? You're on the air.
Hello? Hey, Joe.
Hey, it's Stretch.
What's going on, Joe? Scab.
How you doing,
baby?
What's up?
Stretch, good to hear from you.
Man, I'm good, man. Just been working, man. Trying to get this money together so I can go on vacation in a couple of weeks.
Were you thinking about going on vacation?
Oh, I'm going down south somewhere, man. I'm getting out of here for a while, man. Boston is crazy.
Like a Myrtle Beach kind of south? Where are we going?
Yeah, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, somewhere.
Okay. I like the coast. I went to Sanibel and Captiva. Very cheap, too, and it was outstanding.
Oh, okay, fancy.
No, it ain't fancy. It was cheap. It was very cheap. I took a flight right into Fort Myers, got a rental, bing, bang, boom.
Oh, for real?
Dude, it was great. It was cheap. Under $1,000 for like 4 nights.
Wow. I might have to look into that one. Yeah. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I haven't talked to y'all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know.
But I also wanted to chime in on that 76er thing you was talking about.
Yeah.
You know what? The Sixers got scorers. They have nobody to work with Embiid, man. You feel what I'm saying? That's why they went and got Andre Drummond, to be a bigger body. But Embiid, he's slow. He plays like Robert Parrish when Robert Parrish was old. You know what I mean? Embiid moves slow.
Wow.
For real, look at him. Even in the Olympics, man. I've been watching the Olympic Games, Joe. Embiid sucks.
He does. He really does.
When I say he sucks, he sucks. I don't even know how he made the team. Give him back to France. Put Jaylen Brown in and give him to France. Can we trade Olympic players?
Oh, that's true. Can you believe they benched Jason Tatum? Can you believe that?
You know what? I heard the guard rotation and everything is heavy. You know what I mean? So they trying to find ways to put all these people in. They got too many superstars on the Olympic team, Joe. It's too many of them. and they don't know how to play everybody, and half of them don't get along anyway. So I ain't gonna say they don't get along. They just, their talents just don't mesh together. But that's the way I look at it and the way I feel.
Yeah. Who do you think is the biggest threat to the Celtics?
To the Celtics?
Yeah.
Coming out the East or the West?
East.
Really and truly, I'm running with the Knicks.
Right, bro.
That's the only people I can roll with. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle gets back, and then the trades that they did with that they got all the Villanova players. That's the only people.
Yeah, the Nova.
The Nova Knicks. That's the only people I see, Joe. I don't see nobody else coming out the East messing with them unless Miami make a major move.
Skaz and I still like the Pacers.
What? Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, the team that they played in the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah.
But, nah, man.
What, they're getting a bunch of guys back that weren't playing.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I gotta look. I forgot a lot of people were hurt.
Yeah.
And everything like
Remember
that.
The path was so easy? Remember the path?
Yeah, the path was easy. Everybody got hurt. And every major star in the playoff series y'all played was hurt.
But nobody wants to credit the Celtics for hurting them. They tapped. Tapped out. They tapped out. The Celtics made them tap out.
You're absolutely right, Joe. Yeah, because nobody was expecting the Celtics to run that deep and be that deep and play like they did. Even me.
All right, Stretch.
So
you call in anytime, bro. We're here.
No doubt, Joe.
Nice
Have a
talking.
good night.
You too, my
All right,
man.
guys.
Later, bro. Sorry, I didn't even put the name on. You just put them right through. That's how you roll.
Didn't want to hijack you there, but it's Stretch. Stretch goes to the front of the line.
All right, we got a great musings coming up next, of course, here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hall.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. It's July 30th. I might have said it's July 31st a bunch. So one more day before you have to pay your bills. So, how's everybody doing with the Deli situation? The delis are closed most places I go.
I've been avoiding cold cuts this week, Joe.
Cold cuts.
I can't do that.
Cold cuts. Oh, would I be ripping off?
Yeah, can't do that, Joe.
So even though I was there, I can't talk about it? Can you talk about it if you were there or not?
I wasn't there, so I can't. I can't talk about it.
Cold Cuts McMurray. So, what is it? You can't have any kind of I love a turkey Land O'Lakes American cheese and mayo. That's it. Now, if I have to put more toppings on it, it's bacon. All right. None of that other stuff. But if you go to a local deli right now, they won't serve you. What happened? Do they have to throw all the meat? Where does the meat go? Who ate the meat? Does the dumpster stink right now? What is going on with the meat? What happened to all that beef? Are the cheeses contaminated too? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about this.
Is it just the boar's head stuff?
That's what I saw. Stay away from that for now.
But you know what? What do you do then? Because I love Mia Sammy. Kevin, you'll know this. All right, Skaz, back home. When I was growing up, it was a white hen pantry. There was a man named Tony who worked the deli. We called him Tony Two Touch. And it's, next to the West. Now it's a 7-Eleven. We would leave the bar. Skaz, the bar would close at 2 o'clock. The trick was, last call 1:15. I forget. I think it was 1:15. You got to leave early. You got to get down to the old White Hen. How many people I met at White Hen and then had parties after? Hey man, what you doing? Hey man, we're going in for all right, bro. Yeah, I might miss out everybody at that place. But imagine no late night Tony Two Touch. That's upsetting. So you go to the Quorum, right? You want yourself a Sangy at 1 a.m. And they're not doing them? What about that 7-Eleven pre-produced, wrapped in cellophane? That kind of sandwich, is that still out now too? I went to a 7-Eleven today. You know that they had chicken fingers, pizza, hot dogs. I went in another direction today. I got 2 sliced hot dogs with ketchup from Five Guys. And I'm telling you right now, if you haven't had a hot dog from...
I'm sorry, a what?
If you haven't had a hot dog from Five Guys, you're missing out. Known for their burgers, right? Get a hot dog. You know what deli would have never happened to, Skaz? Satriel's. The meat would have never gone bad at Satriel's, right? If you haven't had a hot dog. You know where I think I got that from? Did you ever see Half Baked? He's got no money in his pocket, right? He's taking Mary Jane, of all things, on a date. And so he goes, "Mom, let's hoof it." And she's like, "Oh, let me get a hot dog," or whatever she says. And if you haven't had a hot dog. Yeah, and she goes, "Extra sour, can I get some extra sauerkraut? Extra sauerkraut, 50 cents. And he's like, "Damn." By the way, Satriel's, again, the gabagool would have always been available. I don't think there would have been any of these issues at Satrielli's. Anyways, you didn't like my hot dog. Okay, let me say it normally. Hot dog. A hot dog. Hot. A hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. A hot dog. I can't say it. Hot dog. A hot dog. I told you, I had a really bad, Kevin, I had a bad dialect, Boston accent, really bad. I went to classes, I learned, but there are some things you just can't get rid of.
I thought you were going to say you had bad something for a second there.
No, but hot. That's another thing that's hard to say is, that's hot. Do you say hot?
Paris Hilton?
Hot dog. Now you got me going crazy over here.
We're talking yourself in circles now.
Hot dog. Hot dog. Anyways, can we play? All right, I want to set this up. I was at Patriots camp the other day. I had a chance to talk to Pop Douglas. He was very nice to me. We had a good time. Well, unfortunately, in Tennessee, sports radio. Do you guys know who Jeffrey Simmons is? Big defensive line. Big.
Good player.
Number 98.
Yeah.
Big boy. Big boy. And, this man named, I don't even have his name. But Big Jeffrey Simmons, wanted to go at a sports radio guy. And I'm not going to lie to you. When I first saw the clip, I thought it was the predecessor. Look at him. Doesn't he look like him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Or one of them does.
A little bit. The voice is what stood out to me.
Okay. So let me set it up. This is Tennessee Titans interviewing not Raekwon McMillan, somebody. But another player, Jeffrey Simmons, walks by, and this is what happens.
Well, Jeff, you want to sit down? We can talk whenever you want to talk. We'll deal with that later. Roger McCreary sitting down with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Jeff, we're on the air right now. I'm right here, Jeff. We can talk anytime you want to. Unbelievable.
We got to make that happen.
Well, we'll deal with that later on. Roger McCreary sitting down with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Jeff, if you want to sit down and talk about this, we can talk about this.
Stop talking on social media. Talk to me.
I'm talking to you right here. Jeff, we tried to talk to you last week. I'm being rude to Roger. We'll deal with you later. Roger, what's going on?
It's good. I'm doing good out here. I'm doing good.
How was the day of practice? First padded practice.
I closed my eyes for a second. I heard Adam Kaufman. Play it again.
Roger McCreary sitting down with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Jeff, we're on the air right now. I'm right here, Jeff. We can talk anytime you want to. Unbelievable.
We got to make that happen.
Well, we'll deal with that later on. Roger.
He sounds like Kaufman, looks like Jones. Sounds like Kaufman, looks like Jones.
There's a very Syracuse enunciation there.
Yes. What you may have missed there is Big Jeff called a man named Buck.
Yeah, that is edited. That is, I wouldn't say heavily edited, but it is edited.
And as the Howard Stern Private Parts movie, they would say blank Willow. Big Jeff called Buck a... So who's wrong here? Buck said, hey, man, we can talk right now. Big Jeff said, you better cut the crap out on social media. So who won and who lost in this one? Because I feel like Buck looks like a loser, but didn't back down. But Big Jeff, call somebody the P. That don't fly with me. I would have dropped the headset. Now listen, I get it. Jeffrey Simmons, number 98, way bigger than me. But I ain't letting you call me a blank Willow. What about you, guys?
Joe, unfortunately, a man of my size, Jeff Simmons can say whatever he wants.
I get it. Like, what did he say? What did he write on social media?
Yeah, that's what we need to find out.
What did he say?
Is he being a little sensitive, or is this justified?
Buck. His name is Buck Rising. Sorry, I don't mean to make fun of his name. I'm Joe Murray. It's a simple name in the world. But why is Simmons so mad? You can't just call somebody a blank willow. Like, and they say to your face, like, let's talk about it. I don't know what he's all mad about. Was that hold me back energy?
There's a little hold me back energy there, I think. You know nothing's actually going to happen in that setting.
I would have dropped a few bros.
Bro. I don't even know Nick York, bro.
Bro. What did I say on social media that you're all up in arms about, bro? What, big bad Jeff Simmons? Got to come at little Joe on the radio? And then you called me a blank willow? Sounds like Kaufman.
Is he a little DA in there almost?
Let's hear him again. Let's hear the whole thing one more time, just so you can really lay it in.
Jeff, you want to sit down? We can talk whenever you want to talk. We'll deal with that later. Roger McCreary sitting down with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Jeff, I mean, we're on the air right now. I'm right here, Jeff. We can talk anytime you want to. Unbelievable.
We got to make that happen.
Well, we'll deal with that later on. Roger McCreary sitting down with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Jeff, if you want to sit down and talk about this, we can talk about this. I'm talking to you right here. Jeff, we tried to talk to you last week.
Hold me back, bro.
I'm being rude to Roger. We'll deal with you later. Roger, what's going on?
I hear Kaufman. And it looks like Jones. Some guy goes, Matt Fiedler, whoever you are, blank willow. The Joe Show is just way too random to enjoy. What the hell does that mean? Do you want cookie cutter sports talk?
You're in the wrong place.
What do you want? I flipped out on everybody about the Red Sox.
Which we may be revisiting at some point.
I told you that Jerod Mayo probably can't coach and the team's going to be the worst in the NFL. And I've said that for weeks now. What don't you like about it? Did you not like the McDonald's conversation? Did you not like us? What was it? Britney Spears skateboards? What?
I didn't like the Britney Spears skateboards either.
What, you didn't like us talking about Daryl Morey and the 76ers? That didn't get you? What was so random?
We should have done 4 hours on padded practice today, Jack.
What was so random? I mean, later on tonight, we might even do McDonald's land.
Yeah, there's a big conspiracy with Mayor McCheese that we might have to get into.
Is that random? I thought randomness was what people liked. Matt Fiedler, though, doesn't. Or is it Fiedler? What are you? It's too random to enjoy? What does that mean? You can't keep up? I would be a you problem.
That sounds like a you problem.
It's probably a me problem. It's probably a me problem. And you know what? I got a compliment by our good friend, Sammy P. He said nobody pivots like Joe Murray. And I took that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
I didn't think he was being rude. Pivot? Is that what you're laughing at?
Kevin's entertaining himself. He's got the chat riled up.
Blank Willow. Oh, is birthdays too random for you, sir? What date? What is today? July 30th. Paul Anka's 83. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 77 years old today. Arnold. Gene Reno.
What's your favorite Arnold movie? Since we're doing random.
Man. Okay, like favorite, not the best, nothing. I love Escape Plan. I don't know what it is about that movie. It's Sylvester Stallone and Arnold in a movie trying to break out of a jail. Right? Like, they're both old. But there's a lot of Arnold movies. I loved Predator. Like, there's too many, dude.
I think it's T2 for me. It's just a classic.
Delta Burke is 68. Lawrence Fishburne, 63. What's your favorite Lawrence Fishburne movie?
Oh, that's a good one.
He was very good in Boys in the Hood, I got to tell you.
That's a good one.
Matrix, he was really good. Oh, man. I also loved that he was Cowboy Curtis in Pee-wee's Playhouse. I don't know if you guys were old enough for that. Lisa Kudrow, 61 years old from Friends. Vivica A. Fox, do not mess with her. Dude, she's 60. Incredible. Wow. Terry Crews, remember him? He's in all the, he was in the Old Spice commercials. I don't know if he's still that guy anymore. Christopher Nolan, 54 years old. Won multiple Oscars for, I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet. Is that weird?
I have not seen Oppenheimer yet either, Joe.
Tom Green is 53. I met Tom Green working here at 98.5 The Sports. If he was sitting on the couch outside, and I go, dude, is that Tom Green? And he would not come on. Why? Christine Taylor is 53 years old tonight. Hillary Swank, 50 years old. Wow. Jamie Presley, 47 years old. Tonight's a good night. Gina Rodriguez, 40 years old. And Joey King, 25. He's the voice of Gru's neighbor Poppy in Despicable Me 4, which I think just came out, right?
I believe. I don't know. There's a lot of those.
I love the Minions.
Love the Minions.
They're always so evil. I love them. They know how to get out of any situation. They broke out of jail and made it they made a getaway car out of a jail cell with the toilet. Did I miss any birthdays today?
We got two golfers, Joe. Graham McDowell, the Miracle at Medina. Unfortunate for American fans, but legendary moment. And Justin Rose, your 2013 U.S. Open winner. I believe he has a gold medal as well.
Oh, congratulations to you on your gold medal. Is that too random for everybody? Was that too random? All right. Well, coming up on the other side, we're going to play you how angry I got tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the only place to hear the local call of the game is right here. WBC-FM and HD Boston. Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox lost tonight 10-6, but they did make some trades at the deadline. Lucas Sims from the Reds, Luis Garcia from Anaheim. Dodgers acquired Jack Flaherty. Padres got Tanner Scott from the Marlins. Patriots at day 5 of camp, second day in a row in pads. No Matthew Judon, though. Bears, they've signed DJ Moore, 4 years, $82 million guaranteed. And Matthew Stafford got a new revised contract. Effectively, it's a 1-year deal worth $40 million. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update, who knows?
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, if you're coming home from the Red Sox game and you want to react, 617-779-0985. How'd you feel about the trade deadline today? Volcano Joe is what somebody called me, not Joe Versa. Random Joe is my favorite. Whatever happened to that guy, Matt Fiedler? All right, well, let's take a break, Skaz, and then just come back with me yelling. Or we can set it up. What do you think we should do?
Maybe we should set it up for the people that missed it.
All right, we'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Tanner, with all the wide receivers we got going on, like Rager and everyone, who do you think will be cut? I'm hoping it's Smith-Schuster too. And then the third point is Joe. Subway Italian herbs and cheese bread, man. Oh,
really? Huh? Anybody ever had it?
Yeah, I've had. It's been a while, but yeah, that was like a high school go-to.
They make a damn good meatball there. Subway, Sometimes, good tuna. No celery, though. But, Skaz, as you know, I had celery twice in a row this summer. And
I'm worried about you, Joe.
Yeah, I did not like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not like it. Anyways, what else is going on tonight? Oh, I flipped out. I don't know what happened. I got very triggered. And it's just, this is the fellowship of the miserable. The old days of the fellowship of the miserable was whenever the Red Sox did anything, you were unhappy about it. Right? Back in the day before they won, Willie McGee, where are they going to play him? That was a big one when I was a kid. Or the day they traded for Rob Deere and he hit 3 home runs in a game or whatever. It's just nobody was ever happy at the trade deadline. Ever. When they traded Nomar Garciaparra, people were pissed. You know what happened? They won a championship. The 3 players acquired, do you know who they were? Doug Minkiewicz, Orlando Cabrera, Dave Roberts.
I loved Orlando Cabrera.
Do you think they had an impact in the final?
Just a little bit.
I think Dave Roberts had a really big stolen base.
Doug Minkiewicz played a pretty good first base.
Caught the final out.
And kept it.
And I believe Orlando Cabrera held down shortstop because Nomar couldn't. That was, people, he didn't like that at the time. So today it sounded like Red Sox fans just wanted to complain because they're uneducated and really cared about prospects. So this is me going off earlier. Let's talk to Ryan in Andover. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, a couple of things I got to get off my chest here. First and foremost, you totally misdiagnosed that caller that you got pissed off about. His point was not that we should have held on to York. It's by the same logic. We have too many left-handed outfielders that we should have traded more.
Hey,
that was his
You don't
point.
have to speak for him, though.
Moving on to the second point. You're positioning Sims and these other scrubs as some of the best relievers available. You're conveniently leaving out the fact that most of the good relievers were gone by the time the Red Sox got off their backside. Tanner Scott, the Toronto closer. There was a half dozen other ones.
Yeah. You're not happy with what they did today. You're not happy with what they did today.
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay, then what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about, Ryan?
I'm complaining about your condescending attitude.
Yeah, my condescending attitude is people don't know these prospects. You're going to sit there and tell me you know who these guys are? For real.
I don't care about the prospects.
That's the whole point. That is the whole point. That's the point. Yes, I'm getting fired up over here. You don't care, but you want to call me condescending about it? You don't care. What could they have done to make everybody happy today? What? Skaz, tell me what they could have done, please.
Probably traded Bobby Dahl back for Shohei Ohtani or something. I think fans would have been in on that one.
That was condescending. That was condescending, Skaz.
Who, me?
That was condescending.
No. That doesn't sound like me.
That guy tried to check me, and I was not having it. Hot dog. But you and your condescending voice. Are you not happy with what they did today? I don't care. Then why are you calling me?
Care about the prospects.
That's the whole point. That is the whole point. That's what I would have done to Justin Simmons.
Jeffrey,
whatever.
I believe it's Jeff. And now he's going to be
Russell.
really pissed. Now he's going to be, yeah.
What about the other guy I yelled at? Do we have that one?
I believe that was Jeff in New Hampshire. I don't know if we have that one. This was the one that really sent you over the edge, though.
Okay. I'm ready.
I don't care about the prospect.
That's the whole point. That is the whole point. That's the point. Yes, I'm getting fired up over here. You don't care, but you want to call me condescending about it? You don't care. I like the part where I told the guy earlier, yeah, like you've gone to Worcester. Or you've gone up to Portland to watch these guys.
Might have to pull the audio on that one, too. Yeah, you've gone to Worcester.
Yeah. Like nobody could tell me one prospect, but they're pissed about who they gave up today. Oh, well, Joe, they're just twiddling their thumbs with Rule 5 guys. Why are you bringing up Nick York to me, bro? Why? I posted a photo of me, Bird, and Matthew Judon, and everybody is like, what do you got? What do you got? Any scoop? What do you got? That was from a long time ago. Like, nobody understands I'm on the air right now. Again, you think I'm out, but I'm working my job. Where are you guys? It looks like I'm missing out on a good time. I'm on the air, working my job. Any scoops? You got any scoops? I don't know. Ask Mark Lewis.
Yeah, Joe, is Judon getting paid? Come on, what's going on?
Yeah. You think he's going to tell me? You think he's going to tell me? You think Matthew Judon is going to tell me what he's doing? For real. He told Mark Lewis what was going on.
Yeah, so maybe, Joe. Maybe he will. We did have a friend of the program, the great Mason Souza. Look into Jeffrey Simmons' Twitter beef.
Oh, yeah? What
didn't seem like there was much there.
You ever heard the my goodbye message to Mason?
Hey, some performance enhancers on that one.
No. What the honest to God truth that night, I was used to work 3 jobs. And so they were like, hey, Joe, will you give a shout out to Mason? And I was in bed.
I bet you I could find that audio.
And I was like, hey, Mason, remember that time?
Very Jim Irsay of you.
Actually, I think it was more Tommy Boy, more than anything. What's going on back there, Kevin? Who are you talking to?
He's hosting a show.
Oh, yeah, I know. So they're, hey, what'd you do on your internship? I got people DMing me asking about Judon. It was from years ago. Oh, God. I'm working on air. This is great. What do you think he'd tell me? Last night, he's like, they got all that money. What are they going to do with it? I agree with you. What are they going to do with all that money? Speaking of Mark Lewis, sounds like somebody else in town didn't really care for his one-on-one, and he went at them. What happened back there, Kevin? You're laughing. You were just talking to some guy for like 5 minutes.
Someone was very upset with your hot dog takes from earlier.
What's wrong with my hot dog takes? What was it? No, put the mic up. Turn him on. I got to hear.
He was mad that you were replaying yourself from earlier. Said he's a big fan though. Been listening for a long time.
Big fan. Upset that I let you hear something you missed earlier. Did you miss it or did you hear it already? You know what? Tonight,
there's something in the water, Joe.
You know how I know I'm doing my job right?
You riled up the people.
That's how I know.
Joe, would you like a Boar's Head update since we can't be random enough? From the AP, Boar's Head recalls an additional 7 million pounds of deli meat.
They're going to go out of business.
Tied to the listeria outbreak.
I don't want to see them go. I love Boar's Head.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
$7 million worth of meat, bro?
7 million pounds. Who knows how much money that is?
I hope everyone knows I'm just trolling them with the Matthew Judon photo with Bird. No one's figured that out yet, huh? Man, Boar's Head, huh? Well, this was supposed to be a take. It didn't work out because the show is so random you can't keep up. But did you know that the Red Sox in their last 28 games have given up 179 runs? Did you also know? Who would you think would give up more runs, the starters or the relievers? Like on a scale, okay, if I gave you the starters threw 152 innings, the relievers 104.
You would guess the starters.
Okay. The starters have given up 90 runs. Do you know how many the bullpen has? 89.
Not good.
And people don't like the fact that they got two of the better relievers available at the deadline.
Yeah, but it's not Andrew Miller, Joe.
They didn't want to give up Nick York. Sorry, Nick York.
Nick Folk.
They're upset that Nick York would... Nick Folk. I can't do it.
Him and Russell Simmons are going to be...
Yeah, Russell Simmons. Jeff Simmons. Blank Willow. True story. I'm trolling you all. That photo is from me and Bird in 2022. Well, Joe, do you have a scoop? No, I'm working. Are you listening to the show? That's just me trolling on you all. The bullpen has not been good, everybody. It has not been good. Not good. Not bad. Very bad, actually. And you know what they did? They got a 30-year-old guy from the Reds who has a 3.57 ERA, 35 innings. He's been very good since May 19th. One of the best in baseball, I might add. Also, they got a 37-year-old who's been to the postseason 5 times, who's having the best season of his 12 years. 40 strikeouts in 43 innings. I thought that was good. Luis Garcia is good. He's good. But you don't like it. So they're a better team today than they were yesterday. But you don't like it? Because of what? Prospects? But then you're going to tell me you don't care. So then why are you calling me?
Upset about Nick York, but wanted to trade Roman Anthony.
Could you believe that?
I kind of glossed over that part.
The best 30 minutes of his day.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Dude, I could make a lot of jokes right now if you want me to. The best 30 seconds of his day was listening to Felger and Maz. The best 30 seconds of his day
was a fake breaking news that Johnny Gaudreau is a Bruin.
That was the best 30 seconds of his day. Bro, you got to go get laid. We got to go to break. I'm carrying on. It's 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Too random, Joe. Too random. right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm going to circle this date next year. July 30th. I don't know why. But, are there new listeners? Is that what it is? It's just been a really odd night. It's been an odd night, everybody. I didn't even get to talk about McDonald's land. Maybe we'll save it for tomorrow night. I don't know. Do you remember McDonald's land, Kevin? Do you remember the Hamburglar? Grimace? Did you ever play in the ball pen at a McDonald's? Me too. We used to sleep in it when we worked there, guys. Like if we needed a cat nap, right in the ball pen, baby. It was either that or your car. Where would you go?
I think the car might be cleaner.
I didn't start that, by the way. My buddy John, just one day, I was looking for him. I couldn't find him anywhere. I could not find him. And I looked in the ball pin, and there he was. And I go, it was kind of like in Breaking Bad when they were laying on the money. And I was like, you know what, I gotta see how this feels too. Paul's in Falmouth. Hey, Paul.
Hey, this is Paul in Falmouth. There seems to be a lot of consternation about what's going on with the Patriots, but I think you really need to stand back and look at the situation from the point of view of the owners and the senior management of the team. And I think what they're telling themselves is, look, Belichick really wrecked this team the last 3 or 4 years he had it, personnel-wise. And now it's going to take us 3 or 4 years to get back to being a competitive team. And so there's no rush, really, to do anything now. In fact, they're better off to get a high draft pick this year, and maybe they get lucky and somebody wants a quarterback and they can, pick up 3 draft picks from some team that wants a quarterback that, maybe if they're drafting high. So everything that's going on now is kind of disturbing. But if you look at it from the point of view of senior management and the owners, that it's going to take 3 to 4 years to get back, you can kind of understand why there's no rush here to do anything. And they're better off if they have another really bad losing season this year. So that's my viewpoint. And as a fan, I'm not going to be interested in them until they win 3 or 4 games. And given their schedule, I don't think that's going to happen.
Cool. Just thinking about McDonald's land, just getting back to that, guys. I'm still wondering about these characters here, right? So there was Mayor McCheese. I'm sorry, that guy, did he say consummation?
Consternation.
Oh. By the way, I almost said to him, don't say that to the 2 to 6 show. What he just said. He wants them to be bad so they can get back into the draft next year. From what I heard, that's not a good viewpoint.
You shouldn't want your team to suck. But they're probably going to be pretty bad.
Consummation? I still don't. I'm still trying to get back to that word.
It wasn't constipation, Joe. It was consternation.
Okay. What else happened in... Okay, so there's Ronald McDonald. There's the Hamburglar.
There's the Taste Bud Grimace.
Grimace. The Fry Kids. Who are they?
I don't know the Fry Kids.
Birdie the Early Bird?
Learned about her last night.
The Happy Meal Gang. Nope. Uncle O'Grimacy? Whoa. Is that a taste bud too? Cosmic. The McNugget Buddies. McNugget Buddies. Bernice. Why do I feel like that sounds familiar to me? There's a vulture that speaks in a monotone voice. Sounds familiar. Sunday, spelled like the ice cream. Performed by Vern Troyer.
I loved him in Austin Powers.
There's an I Am Hungry. And Mike the Microphone.
Too many, Joe. I think the McDonald's land sounds very oversaturated to me.
Former characters, Mayor McCheese, performed by Billy Curtis. Then there's somebody else. He sported a top hat. He wanted to be a mayor. I remember him in Family Guy. Officer Big Mac? What, did you get locked in the cage?
Someone's got to get the Hamburglar, right?
Oh, Captain Crook. I remember that. It was like a pirate captain. And the Professor. Any of those familiar to anybody? Do you know who the best fast food character is? The King. The King just needs to be there. Like Wendy's, like Dave Thomas he's no longer with us. So can anybody just be Wendy?
Well, it's his daughter. I believe she's still with us.
Oh, okay. Well, she is then.
I think she's Wendy.
I don't think she stands out. Like
she's not like a mascot. She's an actual person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a character?
I mean, the biggest one growing up was Charles Entertainment Cheese, but he's not really fast food.
Ronald's a big character.
Yeah.
Ronald.
A little scary, though.
Ronald's his big feet. Clown shoes. Clown.
Literally.
The King is the best. I can't believe I'm going to say this. The best mascot of fast foods is the King. Right? Of all fast foods, the best mascot.
I think I got to go with the Colonel, Joe. I got to go with the Colonel.
That'd be a good fight. Celebrity deathmatch.
Depends on who's playing the Colonel.
Who else we have? Anybody else? Colonel? Oh, the Yo Quiero Taco Bell dog.
The Chihuahua, yep.
That was a good one.
Tony the Tiger. These are just, now I'm just getting, Kool-Aid Man, Chester Cheese.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this is just every food mascot.
Fast food, I think the King takes the cake.
I'm going Colonel.
Well, this or that.
There we go.
You guys need one. Wonder what the chat says. What the chat say.
Apparently, Domino's had a character called the Noid. Okay,
outstanding character.
Never heard of the Noid before in my life.
The Noid was big in the 90s. Bro.
Never even seen him. I'm looking at him right now. He looks like a man with like rabbit ears almost.
The Noid was big, like big. I don't care about Jack in the Box. I went there. It kind of sucked. I went to the one in Dallas, or was it Arlington? Wherever it was. So far away. Huh. I'm still going King. At BK, have it your way. You roll. We're going to break. I'm Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. questions right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, final segment of the show. Going home soon. Things are just flying by here for us, guys. By the way, check out our articles. They're somewhere, but you can find them on our Twitter handles at Joey Murr, at James_Scat. No.
Just James Scaz.
James Scaz. Okay. There's two of them there, and every once in a while
I have deleted the other one, so no more confusion.
Thank you. So, yeah, we write articles. And Scaz won't run today on the Tatum stuff. I have two. One is on the MAC conference. We did a betting preview. And the Sun Belt Conference. And tomorrow, myself and Dan Lifshatz are going to do a Conference USA and Indies independent conferences. So that should be up this week. So you'll have two more podcasts this week as college football is almost upon us. And looking at the rundown that I sent tonight, Skez, we had the Red Sox trade deadline, day 2 of pads, Jerod Mayo is being tested, Mike Hawley on May, people speak out on Tatum, Mayo on Belichick, Daryl Morey. Oh, you know what we didn't get to that we should do tomorrow night? There's always a best players of the 25th century or 20, whatever. Best players of the last 25 years. I'll save it for tomorrow, but there's lies, right? There's lies, and then there's the truth. The truth seems to be missing from the list. How about that for a big market tease? Kevin, Mayor McCheese, thank you, sir. Your aura is felt through the phones. James Scaramazino, great job as always, sir. I'm Joe Murray. Tomorrow will be better. Nah, who cares? I'm going to yell at you anyways. Good night, everybody. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.